Welcome back to Team Fortress TV. Welcome back to the desk, I guess. You've been here on Team Fortress TV the whole time, but it doesn't hurt to mention the channel name. Well, we've got more TF2 coming on up. What we're getting ready for is Jasmine v. Froyo, which is the sort of matchup between, I don't know, it's one of the better matchups. Although, are there any bad matchups today? Certainly not that we'll be seeing.
No, not at all. Like, all the games were super close yesterday, and I imagine not a lot's going to change. Everyone's had a bit of a warm-up now, playing against either the open bracket teams or the two teams bottom of the invite group. I think all the results went as planned. All the top teams, or the top 4, won their games. So this is where it gets really interesting now.
Yeah.
This is where we get into it.
So, let me ask you, War, are we expecting Jasmine to really kind of keep doing what they were doing yesterday? Was it a flash in the pan, or are they going to be even better today? You got any guesses?
I'd say it'd be a continuation of yesterday. They'll be feeling very, very confident with how they're playing. It's not been a case of they've had to change their play style to match other teams. It's actually the other way around. Them against froyotech will be very interesting. We saw them on process yesterday. It was very, very back and forth. I think it was froyotech that had a 3-0 lead. Jasmine T brought it back, and then they ended up throwing it again. So it's going to be Game of Throws. Ooh, no one's done that before, I don't believe.
Checks in the mail. Wow, on that one.
Time that one down.
Odd shot. Yeah. Well, we're waiting on the map picks. We have some casters that I think Twitch chat's going to really enjoy. You got to wait and see who it is, though, because we're not going to them yet.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
It is a 100% surprise.
Yeah, and it's not you, and it's not you. Okay.
Wait,
the only casters that matter. If you guys have any ideas, I mean, Twitch chat's not all about memes. If you've got any ideas, I know that it's just going to break down to the NA people cheering for Froyo, perhaps, and other people who aren't NA cheering for Jasmine, but maybe you guys have some predictions on how it might shake down. It's the start of a long day of TF2. Do you have to save it? Do you have to, like, leave some in the tank, or do you put it all out at the beginning? I mean, you've both played at I-Series.
Yeah, he's not played any, you know.
No, hey, listen, be nice to this guy.
I-49.
Be nice to this guy.
You were looking at...
He might be a Div 1 star, but he's still friendly.
What?
What was I-49?
What was your highest division you've played in?
I'm an invite player. Keep going, but no, I mean, is there such thing as blowing it all at the very start of the day? I mean, is there any, or is that completely a made-up thing that I just thought of in my head?
Made-up thing that you just thought of. But
yeah.
Having said that, I think everybody would sort of have the same thought that, you know, there isn't. You're going to give it your all, and it was mentioned yesterday. If you're in the upper bracket, you want to really, really properly win every game, because then you get the big break where you don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
you get to watch all the other games.
Yeah, you get to watch the other games, so you get to have a look at your enemies in battle. You can kick the back of the chairs whilst they're playing, as long as it's not a seagull, who is luckily not here, as he was put off from the last time he was here.
Is that true?
Very much Coleman.
I don't know if he was the problem, but I need to go there.
But yeah, I think you'll be fighting for like that break if you can sort of just have a moment to chill out, get some food. It's when you've been playing all day, like it doesn't really affect you that much, but you'll be playing better if you can just, like, you know, have an hour to just chill out.
Yeah,
it's not gonna like be a detriment that much, but it would just be like a preference. We're nerds. We're used to just sitting inside dark rooms for the entire day playing video games with our dicks out anyway. So
now, why is it dark? Do you not have? Doesn't have to be dark. You can turn the light on sometimes.
It adds to the atmosphere.
I mean, if you look at the color palettes of our skin and how pasty white they are,
it starts to become evident.
Yeah, it's quite. The thing is that maybe I should really be taller. You know, like a plant reaching for the light as well.
Yeah.
As being tall and thin and pale, but
yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm shrinking.
If you guys sit at home with the lights off, I didn't hear that other part that he said. You can let us know. We have all types of people in the Twitch chat. We're happy that you guys are all here taking part. And as we say, if you're just joining us, we're getting ready for Jasmine versus Froyo. It is a best of 3. We're still waiting on the maps as well. So if you are Jasmine or Froyo, I mean, are there any big, crazy, dominant maps that you'd want to avoid from either side?
Viaducts.
Viaduct?
Froyotech would want to avoid Viaduct.
Yeah?
Yep, after what happened yesterday. But I think both teams will want to avoid Reckoner just because it'll be such a wild card for both teams because they're both inexperienced at it. They've probably not seen each other play that map, so that will be avoided. But other than that, I think it's quite open. I think they're all pretty good all-round teams on most of the other maps. No real glaring weaknesses.
I think it's very difficult to say what their weaknesses will be. Because obviously yesterday was sort of like the feeler day, the day when you sort of like go up to the other teams and just get a real...
What's this motion you're doing with your hands?
That is the feel that you're getting from the other teams.
Figuratively.
You can do it if you want, but you might not be welcome back.
We tell you what, speaking of whatever this is, let's have a look. We've got some team sheets. We're going to have a look here at the lineups for both teams. Of course, we've got Jasmine coming up here first. We're going to get to see the boys, the lads, Dave, Paulson, Gio. You have a look at some of the numbers there. Hell of a day yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to watch the group stages, they ended up on top, #1. Who's the star, or is it an all-around kind of thing? A lot of us were saying just a lot of great individual performances by many of the Jasmine team members up for grabs.
I've been impressed by Paulson by a huge amount.
Yep.
It's always a sort of thing with Aussie demos where they overrate themselves and think they're better than everyone, but in natural fact, Termo, you're a piece of shit.
Wow.
But
Just say what you really feel, War. Don't
Yeah,
hold back.
please.
I was
It's a
actually
safe
impressed by
space.
Zaka.
Yeah.
Because he's roaming, like roamers have sort of quite a tough time. It's sort of like a very, very unforgiving role sometimes. You do get moments where you can do flashy stuff, but if you're just playing like well, you can sort of go unnoticed. It's very, very sort of like an underrated role. We don't really get much limelight, so Zaka did very well. I was very impressed by his performance on Viaduct yesterday. I can't remember what team it was against. It was against Crowns, maybe. Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday he was very, very good. Some very nicely timed aggression as well.
Yep.
So I'm very, very impressed by him personally. Dave as well. Medics are, again, it's very, very unforgiving. If you're not used to a LAN environment and the pressure does get to you, you can sort of completely toss it away. He was a bit unfortunate against froyotech on Process yesterday, where he was unfortunate enough to catch quite a few Muma's pipes and place them in his pocket, and unfortunately it did kill him. So yeah, overall I was impressed by Dave and Zaka.
Cool. Let's have a look at Froyo here as well, and we can talk about some of those standouts. We are getting players on server, so we're getting ready here. We're getting close. We have the lads, of course, wearing their little costumes. Still no name for Free State, but we love them. We have the map picks here as well. I'm just pulling them up, and we can discuss. What are we looking for real quick, boys? How about you, CX? Who do you like in general?
Muma's been a real standout player. I'm still waiting to see more from Banny, like a real performance where he really commands it and wins it for his team. I don't know if it's just for role he's now playing. He's playing a much more, I guess, sort of happy-cool style.
It's got ones next to his name.
Yeah, that means a lot. Still, but we're early in the day. That's not necessarily going to stay. And these are stats we're looking at from, I believe, still yesterday. The maps, boys, are Granary, Gully, and Badlands. So, again, you're dead on with no Viaduct, no Reckoner. We're assuming we're going to be seeing a lot of this type of thing. We do have, I'm told, though, almost all players in there. So let's forget about us. Guess who it is? We have 10 people on server.
We have enough for predictions.
Okay, well, do the predictions real quick, and then we'll kick it to our casters. Who are we predicting?
I'm going to say Jasmine T, but I was going to go across 3 maps.
Yeah.
I'm thinking three maps as well. Yeah, Badlands, Granary, Gullywash, all pretty standard maps. Not particularly strong or weak for either team. Froyo maybe fancy themselves better on Gullywash, but I think they overrate themselves on it. But it's going to be so tight. I expect at least 1 or 2 golden caps. But ultimately, Jasmine T, if they can keep it up like they did yesterday, Froyo won't be able to handle it.
Yui and Muma are going to be the people to watch.
Okay. I like 3 maps, too. We'll tell you what. It's time. Not a lot of people are seeing this coming, but Arx Beta, take it away.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Great introduction as well. It's been about a year to the date since we've been here, and it's a great honour. So we are here to bring you upper bracket round 2 of multiplace i58 competition. I can't believe I'm saying a 58 on the end, Arx.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's been a long while since we've been here, but well, looking forward to the games anyway.
Yeah. And it's great. The camera looks like I've got an awesome tan.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I mean, I went to the Isle of Wight, but it's not exactly Spain or anything, is it?
So, well, Arx, it's going to be Granary first. You can see all of our notes in front of us, frantically making notes, making sure that all the stuff the gentlemen have just told us on the right, we can basically repeat it and steal all the thunder. But Granary first. Arx, maybe walk us through Granary. What's the key bits what we should be looking out for in this match?
Well, I mean, Granary, it pretty much plays out the same way that it has played for a long time. It's a lot of waiting around and then quick pushes through narrow choke points and trying to take advantage of that particular area. It's I'm certainly looking forward to see if the game has evolved since the last time that obviously we were involved. It's been quite a while, but yeah, certainly looking forward to it.
Excellent. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I remember Granary of the old being pretty spammy, if I'm honest with you. A lot of choke points trying to get through, especially onto those mid-fights, and even getting into second, if you can't get some around the back, it was a bit of a pain. That said, Arx, there's no European team in this match. Obviously, it's a bit of a surprise at the moment, but I'm sure there's other games going on. But Australians versus the Americans, who's the money on?
Well, isn't it the Australians' time this time? Isn't it? Aren't they the favourites this time? Probably not, but yeah, I've got to be the Australians, hasn't it? They've come a long way. Maybe they deserve this one. Okay,
excellent. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I had a look at some of the roster for Jasmine T, and there's some new names. I mean, I would have thought it was the same guys coming over from the Australian sides last time, but it's a complete different lineup. But the Americans, same old faces, and it's funny, really. I mean, do you think that can come into it, Arx? But hold that thought. I mean, we're nearly ready to go live here. Granary, as we see the fly-through come through now. As you see, walking through the second point, and obviously that last Granary Pro being the map. Obviously that forward spawn point. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. Forward spawn point. Forward CP point. Do you think that actually, Arx, that even makes a difference on Granary Pro? Do you think it's a lot easier to cap?
Yeah, it's certainly, it does change the dynamic of it from a while ago. It makes it a little bit less stalematey, which is a good thing for the map because that was the complaint for quite a lot of people. Especially over the years when Granary's been played out, people didn't really like that, just the waiting around, and that makes things a lot quicker.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to see anything out of the ordinary on this?
I do not. I think that this particular map has been refined so much. You might see occasional snipers coming in through on the last points and stuff, but it is just going to be meta all the way.
So yeah, if you have just joined us, this is Team Fortress TV's i58 coverage. We are Arx Beta bringing you upper bracket round 2 of the Team Fortress 2 competition. We are about to go live with froyotech and Jasmine T for which actually is a key part of this tournament. We're in the business end, and this is why the big guns are here to bring it to you as well.
A bit of ego there.
We've got a great production crew behind us as well, so I can't steal all the thunder. Granary is going to be first. Let's run through those lineups for you just one more time. So Scouts, we've got Madness and Yui, Aroma, Zaka, Pocket. Who have we actually got on Pocket? Geo. And we've also got Demo Paulson and, of course, Medic of Dave. That's for Jasmine T. And then we're running into froyotech now. Free State, Paddy, TLR, Muma. How do you even pronounce that name? 404, is it? It's these names.
Think of the number. Think of the number. Error.
Can I have a little sign that tells me again? I think last year someone gave me a sign.
Didn't we have someone standing behind the camera just holding up how to pronounce a name?
Yeah. It's usually me as well. That's the worst thing. Why is it always me?
We're notoriously bad at pronouncing
Can I have a T-shirt that says, why always me? Oh, dear. Right. So, Arx, actually, it's a good point. We haven't seen much of the Team Fortress 2 yet. Of these lineups, you've got to give it to the Americans, really, haven't you?
On paper, yeah, but having watched the last game that they played, it was on CP Badlands. They were nearly very susceptible to a comeback from Zantec, was it? The last game that they played. And yeah, it was very close. 2 minutes left. They could have pulled a round back. So
whether that's going to affect them mentally. Are they going to be boosted from just overcoming that, or are they going to be a little bit shaken that they were taken almost to the wire?
Yeah. So these guys met earlier in the tournament. We had an invite group this year, of course, as we have for the last 3 years. Maybe someone correct me if I'm wrong there. They actually drew 4-all on process, so hopefully that will give us something to look forward to. Whether it'll go all that way, we'll see.
Yeah.
As for the competition, actually, Jasmine T finished on top of that invite group, Arx, winning the 3, drawing the 2. And actually, Froyo won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1. The lost coming against Crown, who, of course, are our, I guess, are where the EU backers are sitting. I don't know. Maybe the Brexit vote sits somewhere else, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll find out. Well, we are nearly ready to go live. As all things, Lan, as he looks at his watch, things never run particularly on time, but this is actually pretty good timing for us. I appreciate yesterday things were a little bit haywire, but we have finally got to the bottom of some of the problems. So following Granary, we're going to have Gully Wash, and if needed, we will have the Badlands Decider. Not sure, Arx, come on, before this game starts, do you think we're going to see the Decider?
I think we might. I think
Is it going to be a golden cap?
Definitely. It's got to be a decider for this one. I think it should be a close game. It will be a good indication on how the tournament's actually going to go. And yeah, I'm anticipating a decider. What about this map? Who do you think's going to take it?
I'm going to go all out. I'm going to say...
You're saying Froyo for 2? Or
No. I'm going to say Jasmine T. First map, Jasmine T, Scouts Wrecking. Where are you going?
That's a bold prediction. Playing the scout play as well. I think Froyo will take this map. I think their lineup's quite refined. They're a very capable team, and seeing them on Badlands actually, to me, it suggests that they might have better luck on this map, as they weren't playing particularly strong. Okay,
so you think Badlands, that open mid fight, actually they can pull that together on Granary, get a little bit more coordinated?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think in terms of set plays and actually pushing through chokes, they'll do very well. But in the open deathmatch battles, they just, on paper, you'd like to think, that they should have the favour in this. But no, I think they'll perform better on this map.
Okay, that's interesting. And what about our friends on Twitch chat, Arx? I mean, you stay in game and I'll have a look. Where is our money going? We've got some shout-outs for Jasmine T already. So maybe Jasmine T's a favourite to take it, or maybe people just want to see an upset. Maybe people want to see Banny upset. Maybe they want to see if TLR can steal another trophy. We'll see, but we'll see another time. Maybe that is the day, but maybe it's tomorrow that happens. But right now it's Granary. Where's your money at, Jasmine T? All up, Jasmine T. I can see it on the Twitch chat.
That is a lot of support for Jasmine. I think they want the Aussies to do it this time.
It's really surprising, actually.
There's the odd occasional Froyo coming out, but...
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, we give it them. We're pretty early for our friends in the States to be awake, but that shouldn't be any excuse. Though the guys in Oz, I feel sorry for you on the East Coast coming up to midnight there. So, yeah, we're looking to get started straight away.
It's Saturday night. They're Aussies. They're probably drunk.
Yeah. Arx, why don't you just walk us through some of the strats that maybe either team could look to take on the mid-fight?
Well, I mean, it's pretty much teams. Demo men have two realistic options on which way they will go into this midpoint. They can go up top on the balcony, which has been favoured by quite a lot of teams recently, or they can just go into the bottom left entrance and start firing some pipe bombs and stickies over onto the capture point to try and secure it from there. But it usually depends on how much health they have when they come out of that second point. If they've got the health that they can make the long jump and don't need the health pack, then they tend to like to go up top. But if they need that health pack over on the left, then
yeah, it'd be interesting to see if some tactics have changed. I mean, a while ago, I remember it used to be 2 scouts going on top, pistols out, seeing if they get some quick, easy hits on some soldiers up there, or a demo coming in. I mean, that is one thing we haven't discussed yet. It probably seems like an eternity to go for some of you, but Banny on scout.
Yeah, well, to be honest,
it's an eternity ago, but for me, it's still Banny demo.
My God, we're showing our age there. He hasn't been on demo for a while, but he's certainly one of the greatest scouts in the game at the time. He's just one of the greatest players in the game. I mean, he can adapt to pretty much any role. He knows the game inside out, and you can expect him to. Well, if you had him on a team. In fact, I was on a team with him back in the day. That's how long ago I played.
Name dropping.
But yeah, you can expect him to.
Is that Beta TF2, right?
It was some disaster of a team before he got famous.
You know, force of nature is allowed now, right?
Yeah, I'll come back into the game. I think start playing.
Yeah. No Overwatch.
Nah. Force of nature all the way.
Actually, funny enough, I was discussing this with good old eXtine earlier on about unlocks and stuff, and we might see sort of some double gunboats here, maybe even a shotgun coming back in as well from some of the pocket soldier. And I mean, when we talk about shotgun, I think the good old Abomination from Four Kings, if anyone remembers him, his shotgun aim was almost like
he had it.
a robot. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So we'll see, especially see what they're running.
Blast from the past, popping out names like Abomination. That's about 7 years ago. Or
Yeah, it
something
probably
ridiculous.
was. Yeah, actually, yeah.
First few years of TF2.
2008, 2007, 2008. And
Yeah.
actually, you know, those guys have long gone. But a couple of shout-outs. So I just want to say thanks to the production crew. It's been a great job. We did have a slight change of plans earlier on. Shout out to Dashner. Sorry that you couldn't be here. I did try my best to make sure you didn't get in. I mean, did get in. But it was nothing to do with me. That's all I'm going to tell you. Ignore the rumours. And then finally, I just saw Dr. Justice is in the house doing drone racing. How cool is that?
Do they still play his frag movie before the finals?
Actually, where's Dr. Justice's frag movie? We need that. I need that before the finals. Otherwise, this whole tournament, we may as well just start again and go home.
We are going.
Well, we are about to finally go live. This is Multiplay's i58 Team Fortress 2 competition, upper bracket round 2. You are, of course, with Team Fortress TV's Arx Beta, bringing you froyotech versus Jasmine T. This is the first map of a best of 3. Granary Arx run us through to that first mid.
As the demo men are making their way through to the midpoints, it looks like we do have Froyo going in the bottom left. With also, it looks like oh, hang on a minute.
I
Jasmine.
think we've had a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't started.
Full start. I think I saw a slight server issue there. So funny enough,
someone missed their jump? That used to be the reason. Quick guys, there's lag.
There's lag. I've missed my jump.
Restart. I missed the health pack.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, I mean, I guess the only thing to note worthwhile is that neither is running Crits Creek, of course. I wouldn't expect to see that so earlier on. Nothing out of the ordinary. It sounds like that we are getting a restart at least. So Arx for a second time then. We could do this all night if you want. It means we get more camera time.
Yeah.
Second time.
Here we go.
Froyotech versus Jasmine T. Upper bracket round 2. Multiplay's i58 Team Fortress 2 competition. Of course, with Team Fortress TV bringing you all the coverage for the competition on site. Arx, run us through to that first mid.
First midpoint, first cast in a while. I am pumped up to see this game as the demo men are making their way in. Does look like we do have a deviation in the strategies. We do have Jasmine T's demo man of Paulson over onto the point. We did go up top, but both of them arriving at the same time, trying to exchange some stickies over as the scouts are now arriving up top. Aggressive soldier jumping over through onto the point. It looks like Froyo trapped in the corner, but are they going to lose their jumping soldier? It doesn't look like it. Scouts, however, doing work over for froyotech. Free State over onto the medic. Has to reload. He's reloaded all his bullets. Is he going to get the protection from you? Yes, he does. Free State does get taken down, and Jasmine T coming out on top for this midpoint. Interesting
enough, Froyotech calling the pull out really early, so it's actually the scout and the medic that managed to get away there. I'm surprised, Arx. I mean, did they call it early? Because they still left a scout and a soldier still to die at the end.
I think they were pretty much trapped in that position. They'd gone very aggressive, and it's cut your losses, isn't it? You've got to keep that medic alive. You need that Uber, and both teams are ready with it, and we are going to be seeing Jasmine T making that push in towards the fourth CP for them. Stickies above the point. We'll have to see if that is going to pop anybody who is pushing in aggressive. But our team just waiting outside, seeing if they can put some pressure on. Soldier up top did get a lot of damage on him. Scouts chasing him. Madness does take him down. That's Paddy, one down as they are making the push in. That's got to be enough for them to get in to the point. Moving in over onto the right-hand side. Still trying to get up top, but not quite making it through just yet.
Yeah, Froyo doing a good job of sitting back, drawing Jasmine T in. And in fact, it looks like the soldiers, Zaka could be in trouble there. He gets taken down up top. Both Uber has been popped as Froyo try and delay as much as they can, falling forward and falling back. But it does look like Jasmine T should take this point. But will Froyo come back in? It does look like they want to come back in. Paddy and TLR up top.
They haven't capped.
Taking down the point. It's still not capped. Jasmine down.
Ooh.
3 players finally get the cap. Will they get the front spore in time? Or it
Watch out,
does look
TLR
like
coming in from behind, trying to put pressure on them. If he can get kills here, they're going to retake the point. One soldier sitting outside, but he's forced to pull back. He hasn't got his medic with him. Well, he has, but his medic's really low. Had to fall back, and great push by Froyo. Great flank from TLR. Manages to secure that second point for them again.
Will Froyo get out here? Is actually the demo of Geo and one of the scouts getting front spawn. Zaka gets taken down though, so it does look Free State will also fall, going overextending there. Almost a 3-on-3 fight in this yard area, and Jasmine T actually falling out, Arx.
Well, they lost their demo. They lost their demo. One of their soldiers. They can't realistically hold that choke point with just scouts. Although Man is doing a good job there, taking down Paddy, and that's well, one of the soldiers are down. That's going to delay the push, and yeah, sensibly, I think Froyo deciding not to try and push through. That is going to open up the yard area very shortly for Jasmine T if they decide to push it. But Froyo just trying to get some spam in the choke. If they make it so that if they are trying to push.
They're in on the left though. I mean, it's, Uber has been popped really early by 4-4, so it's just looking like he's going to be stuck here. In fact, if someone turns around, someone needs to help him out, and it is, in fact, Free State that does come in to help him out. But Jasmine T pushing Froyo further and further back. They have lost Paulson, so it's the Demo Man and Soldier both down. Oof. Will Froyo fancy trying to hold on? And it does look they are. They've still got a medic healing there. Don't want to push too far, but the medic goes down, and it's actually 5 players down for Froyo. Probably should have fallen back a little bit earlier, and Jasmine T will be fancying and moving in very quickly here, Arx.
Well, Froyo, they did die. A lot of their players did die quite early in that fight. I mean, 3 of them died just in the last few seconds, but that means that Jasmine T cannot just simply push, and Madness does take down Banny. Scout is over onto the final point. A lot of time going on to it. They only need to jump on that point for a second. Soldier, no one's pushed him off, even though they had the players outside. Jasmine T taking the first round 1-0.
There we have it. So first round on the board for Jasmine T. I'm sure the fans will be going crazy. 26 minutes remaining, so relatively slow round in terms of granary, but still quite fast-paced action. No stalemates there, Arx. In the years gone by, we used to see a little bit more hesitation pushing forward and backward, but would you say that's Jasmine T being aggressive, or would that be Froyo being a little bit more tentative?
I think Froyo they were playing the sensible game. They couldn't come back from getting the kills over onto the second CP, and Jasmine T just well controlled. They fell out when they needed to and pushed when they needed to as well. So now we are going on to round 2 mid-fight. Jasmine T pushing aggressive. They've got the confidence. ×5 was sitting on the point. Froyo allowing nearly half of that to be captors. Yui does put pressure over onto Muma there, does take down the Demo Man. Jasmine T coming out on top again. Can Banny on top of the crates, under half health, do anything here? He does have the 1 health left on Yui there as Medic does tag up with him, and Banny forced to fall out. Jasmine T taking the second round as well. Yeah,
pretty much nearly a full wipe there for Froyo. Medic going down as well, so the only saving grace, well, in fact, what am I talking about? Of course, the Jasmine T medic did not go down. He has the full Uber charge.
And that is huge. That is huge.
Yeah, we can see a roll onto second. The most important thing now for a bit will be for Froyo to make sure they get this Uber out, or we're going to be looking at 2-0 in about 30 seconds.
Well, that's the thing. With the Uber percentage now, if Jasmine T do have to Uber, then Froyo are going to have a counter Uber to maybe take back the point. So ideally, Jasmine don't just want to force an Uber and push straight through with it. They want to get a pick, but Zaka does go down early. I'm wondering if Froyo are going to use this opportunity to try and force the Uber.
TLR behind, TLR on the right side again. Onto the mid-pack area, gets shut down by Paulson. But again now, change of the tide, and it's actually maybe Jasmine T that might fancy it. It's 5-on-5 on that point at the moment. Time coming in by Madness on the point, but Jasmine have lost a couple there. Don't want to overextend too much. Still don't have that front spawn. And in fact, Froyo do hold, but are they going to push out? They know Madness is in behind. He is taken care of by Paddy, I beg your pardon.
But check the Uber situations now, because with Dave going down, Froyo do have that Uber charge. They are very much aware of the advantage that they have in this situation, and they are looking to make a push onto the midpoint. Zaka going down. This could snowball all the way through the game if Jasmine aren't careful and get calm and collected and just regain their thoughts, really, because Froyo taking this midpoint very easily, having no one's trying to force out that Uber. It looks like Geo was peeking up top, but with Stickies up there, he's not going to be going through. And Froyo taking this midpoint for almost absolute free.
Yeah, again, so it's definitely the turn now of Jasmine T to try and get this Uber out in the yard area as one of the soldiers comes forward, jumping in to try and get it. Geo, who does get down. No pop there yet from the Uber, so Froyo in a really good position here. Jasmine T trying to sit back, carry on building. Uber's popped really, really early, coming through the Z, and Zaka gets taken down by TLR, and Froyo will take that second CP.
Counter Uber
coming in.
Wow, they just about got it. I was going to say that Froyo were doing a great push with it, leaving the scout behind to get time on the point, but it doesn't look like they've done enough with the Uber charge. They are going to secure it, and with the double casualty coming in from Jasmine, I think Froyo are going to be able to push this. They've got the deathmatch classes they need. Scout is isolated. However, great job taking down the demo man there. That might just delay the push for now and might have saved them this round.
I thought for a second Jasmine T were going to lose quite a few people there. Dave especially just dodging a couple of pills or pipes there. Jasmine looking like they want to try and make sure they push Froyo back, in fact, but it's not going to happen. Jasmine T, Jasmine are going to just have to fall out, try and rebuild. Let's just take a look at those Uber percentages. UE running Sniper Arx, just to let you know. I'll let you flick over to him. 404, if that's how you pronounce his name, I must say. He does have that Uber already, as we're looking in eyes on you at the moment. We have a nice little wall hack there, just onto the soldier. Misses the shot. Free State gets taken down. So that's just one of the scouts. Will that prompt a push from Jasmine potentially? But without that soldier of Zaka, it could be difficult. And they're in that position there where you just lock them into that garage area. They cannot get out of there while Yui is still alive. They will need someone to go round. That said, have Froyo managed to make it through Arx just on the right-hand side? They've got a few more players. No, they haven't. They're still in that garage area. This is where we do have a little bit of stalemate, and Madness running heavy as well. So standard heavy gun.
Yeah, they are locking it down for the defense. There's no real incentive for them to try and push out at this point. They are leading in rounds. Although Ubers are advantageous, why not use the defender's advantage? And sit back and let Froyo come to them. So we do have a sniper also running from Free State now. Tries to get the shot in. The door is being opened for him by Banny as Geo pushing up aggressive. And to be honest, they're playing the slow pick game here, just trying to get one pick. What would be interesting though is if Jasmine managed to get a pick, do you think that they would push out from here after a single pick?
Oh, headshot onto the soldier there, gets pushed back all the way into the window, out the window I must say. Again, still trying to go for that pick, Madness. Still sitting up top, making sure that no one's going to come in up top. Arx, I think if Free State, well, I beg your pardon, if Yui got that pick, I don't know why they wouldn't. They're still 1-0 up. We know the front spawns are pretty fast here, pretty close to that CP. I don't think they have a choice if they want to get out. But we know their last game finished in the draw, so maybe that's a sign of tentativeness from both teams.
But do they want to get out? As I said, they're one round up at the moment.
Free State creeping. Headshot onto the heavy there. Gets that shot, but falls back. He knows that he's in trouble, and Zaka takes him down. Here we go. So are we going to see something from Jasmine here? Only the sniper.
They don't really have the classes to try and make that pick, though, because if they've got a heavy and a sniper, I mean, they're going to need 2 picks if they're going to make any sort of push out or an Uber advantage. Those are the conditions for a push out at this point. So this is not really going to hurt Froyo too much. However, on 1 pick, Froyo are going in. They are going all out. They're going ham.
Banny and Paddy down, actually. So it's 2 down for Froyo. Surely Jasmine now can come in. Still Yui there. Have they still those classes? Froyo falling back very, very quickly. Wanted to probably come through the Z in just a moment of spamming through, as we now see ×3 on point. And it looks like they're going to just come round the right-hand entrance, try and block it. Uber has been popped by Froyo very early. So Jasmine will have a slight advantage. We'll see Froyo fall all the way out, and there's been well, in fact, I was going to say there's been a couple of flashes, but Jasmine have not got it. Finally, they do get that point back, stop the front spawns, but they're coming in behind the marks.
Froyo have so much better deathmatching classes for this situation right here. I mean, players had to go back to the spawn and change and everything, but are they losing too much on this push? It's 2 apiece at the moment. Banny, Free State, TLR going down. They still haven't got it. They're not getting the forward spawns for these players who die, who've got a long run. However, only Madness is alive at the moment. He manages to hold on to the point for now, and he is making his way out to the yard and trying to get some time over onto the midpoint.
And we have a Froyo wipe for the first time in this map, and it's a pivotal time actually. So second CP taken. Will Froyo look to hold on to that third CP? I imagine so, Arx. No, both medics went down, but almost, so Froyo on that fight actually had an advantage at one point, almost 3-on-2 with that medic there, but Jasmine actually came out on top. It's interesting to know. So like you said, we were talking about the deathmatching class maybe not being there for Jasmine, but they pulled it out of the bag. And now we have another sort of small stalemate just on as both teams build their Ubers. Jasmine obviously defending a little bit more. Arx, in the old world, in the old times, you'd probably say this is Froyo's to push, wouldn't you, really, because they have mid?
It should be. The attacking team does get the advantage. That's how Valve designed the game to try and prevent stalemates. However, a lot of teams do fancy pushing out of here because they're going from a choke into an open deathmatching area, whereas actually it's pretty hard to push from the midsection into this yard, as they've got to go through chokes, and then even then they're in quite a closed environment. So we'll have to see what's going to happen here. Are they going to be playing for a pick, or now that the Ubers are both up, are we going to be looking at a push? It does look like Jasmine T certainly aren't in position to make any sort of push here themselves. They're just saying, come on, Froyo, come at us. Like, yeah, let's see if you can take this yard off us.
Oh, here we go. So they're going to try and come in through that ramp room area. Will they get it in? I'm not certain they will. So being pushed back, Muma's being pushed back. Geo is right there, doesn't want to be caught either. Jasmine just trying to keep up the spam. Of course, both teams now already have that Uber, both at this level. Everyone building with Boston Basher. Zaka gets taken down. Oh, that's a soldier. Surely we'd have to see a push from Froyo now, but here we go. So Uber has been popped by both teams. It's a meet and greet at the front door. No one getting anywhere without a counter Uber coming in. But Jasmine falling down. It's actually the medic of Froyo going down in the background. 3 players were down for Jasmine though. Their death matches are all down. So a scout and both soldiers were down very briefly.
Watch out for the flanking
Froyo
soldier up
going to
top.
come in and get it, Arx.
Wow, air pipe coming out from Poulsen there. Does take him down, but yes, Froyo look like they're getting it. Oh, another air shot over onto TLR. Zaka taking him down as he tried to defend the point. But we will see now. Froyo don't really have the numbers to push immediately, so they are just regrouping and, well, trying to build up that Uber.
Well, now we're actually in the part of the game where Jasmine do definitely have a distinct advantage with the Uber, just over about 40% advantage, still building really fast as well, and they are walking into this point uncontested. Arx Froyo will be aware of that. ×2 on the point at the moment. Surprised there isn't a little bit more spam coming in. And again, just retaking it. Jasmine has just retaken that relatively easy, and they've all come out as a solid unit on the right-hand side. All 5 there coming out on the right-hand side. Paddy getting forced all the way back at half health, and Froyo pushed all the way back to mid. And
Jasmine again, a lot of ground for free, but the Uber is now popped out. Counter Uber's going to come in. Paddy does get taken down, so they're already both soldiers down, actually. This is going to be really hard for Froyo to push back. They haven't yet got any capture time on the point. Here comes Uber with a scout, but they're not going to do anything with just the medic and scout. I mean, it may be Banny, but you're not Superman. It's just not going to happen. So Jasmine taking this midpoint. They got way too much ground for free there. Froyo are not going to be happy with that.
That's good. I think personally it's probably a good call from Froyo going in. It would have been almost like a 5-on-3. Again, as you said, it was a medic demo and a scout, but they can't really let them have this second point for free either. Saka just walked across the point uncontested, finally getting taken down by TLR in the Z, but I mean, they've got to stop this. They've got to make sure they don't get this for free.
They're going outside, the scouts for Froyo, putting a lot of pressure. Soldiers also flanking through the tunnel. He's dropped down now. He's going to be right up behind them here as he is in the garage area, isolated on his own. Madness is trying to do what he can just to isolate him, and he's done a good job, to be honest. Uber is popped as Jasmine are pushing in now. They've got the kills. 2 alive for Froyo. Only Banny exists in this game, and he is well out of position, trying to get some sort of flank, but they're not even going to spawn before this capture point is Oh, Banny's defending the point. He did do enough just for now. That would have been a certain round. Is any players going to get out? They are not. And second round goes over to Jasmine T. So far, dominating this tie.
So, Jasmine T coming all the way back from last then. Actually, to make it 2-0 on the board. Was that a drop, by the way, from the Froyo medic? I caught it as he had about 99. I'll call it as a drop, so there we go. A little bit, probably too defensive, welcoming people to spam onto him. So 15 minutes remaining. Granted, we know anything can happen. 2-0 the score. This is upper bracket round 2 of Multiplay's i58 Team Fortress 2 competition. We are Team Fortress TV's Arx and Beta as we go through to this third mid. Arx, are we going to see anything different?
Well, we do have demo main going in. Muma did have a slow entrance into the point as soldiers are making their way up again.
Geo
Jasmine
onto the demo. Muma going down. Apologies, Arx and medic. I thought was going to get caught as well, but TLR. But Jasmine looking like they're going to be forced back into that corner. It's only Yui up top trying to delay.
Watch TLR flanking behind. He's got no health level. Oh, TLR does get taken down by Poulsen yet again. He's proving to be his nemesis as Paddy also went round the back. I'm wondering if Jasmine are going to... Nah, they're deciding against it. I guess it's too much capture time. But with those last few picks, there might have been an opportunity for them to
I thought
to
about
get
it
back
as well
and
for a
block it.
second, just delay as much. But again, it's just reading the situation. Arx 2-0, 15 minutes left. This is Froyo's game. They're going to have to come back and they want to take this first map, I beg your pardon, and basically make sure there's no decider needed if they were to lose this one, of course. Just seeing where the team's setting up. Banny taking a huge rocket forced out of the garage or ramp area. Again, I think difference of Arx. Jasmine really aggressive in the yard area, making sure that no one's getting in. A lot of spam there, making sure that no one's getting in for free. We didn't see that earlier.
And that's the difference. I know if a team is pushing through and they're going to take any ground of yours, any of these little choke points, the garage area or anything, you want to punish them for moving forward in any situation. Jasmine are doing a really good job with that, whereas Froyo were just letting them walk in. Their spam was weak. It wasn't coming in on that previous round. And right now, actually, we'll have to see if they're going to keep it up, because Demoman is out of position over on the left-hand side. So there are no pipes going into that garage, just a couple of rockets being fired through. As yeah, scouts
free states through onto the Zolja of Zaka. Zaka takes him down. Blimey, really
that's
surprised
one
by
down
that.
though. Is that going to be enough to prompt a push? It does look like Jasmine actually quite content just to hold.
No, hold that for Arx.
They've delayed it too much. The soldier's going to be spawned in 3 seconds. He'll get back to the point in 6 seconds.
Oh,
but
Muma's down as well, though.
That's a big one, because the demo man, well, the amount of spam that he can put through on a choke, that could prompt a push, and they are looking to edge their way in through this left-hand side right now. They do have a height disadvantage here as Gio just jump up. He gets absolutely annihilated by Free State from the crate, and it looks like Froyo are trying to push this down. Another kill. That's Zaka down, both soldiers down. That's the end of Jasmine's yard hold, and, well, they're going to be relying a lot on their demo man to put some spam out for this point, or their Uber charge.
Yeah, they're going to need to get that Uber out of Froyo, Arx, and Yui goes down, so it's 3 down for Jasmine. As again,
Block
one of the
with
soldiers
Uber,
of Froyo
get out
comes
of
in
there.
behind. It was Paddy's turn. Uber has been popped. A counter Uber coming in. So they're going to trade. Again, trying to cut off Paulson. The demo there, trying to make him chill down. But again, is it the soldier that's been cut off? And it is. TLR goes down there. He was the one who was cut off in the end. But Arx, Froyo do get that second CP. Are we going to see any slight advantage? Jasmine have a slight advantage on that.
I really like the way that Jasmine played that, because they needed to buy some time to get the spawns in, and also the fact that they went in, forced the Uber the second that the Froyo
free
Uber
state onto Yui, state onto Yui. Arx, hold on a minute. And Paddy as well taking Yui. So Froyo looking like they're going to come out. They're all out of that second CP area. It's just only a couple of Jasmine players. The demo
Froyo going to go down.
Madness going down as well. So, but Froyo's losing players. 4 down, 5 down for Yo-Yo. This push has been a disaster. Only TLR left, and he's fallen out all the way back out to yard area. And again, Froyo taking that second CP, and they're going to give it back up to Jasmine and say, welcome to coming back to this.
But this was the thing. Jasmine just had the height advantage for the entire fight, and nobody from Froyo was pressuring them to get them off of those pipes. And they, with that height advantage, the spam was landing, whereas Froyo's was not, and their health just trickled down until they could not hold anymore. That has allowed Jasmine to push out. They've got an Uber advantage, a big one, I might add. They might... Well, the question is, are they going to take this midpoint for free? Is the Uber going to be popped? There's quite a bit of damage on the medic. He is going to be a bit scared right now, but great holding by Dave. They're getting the kills as well. Jasmine, well, they've taken down at least Banny. A scout's isolated and another one swapped, but Uber was forced. Dave, that was not good.
Yeah, still a fight going on in that left-hand corner. Paulson trying to put as much spam as he can over there. Doesn't want to get caught into the garage area, but he's still being chased down. He is caught. So Jasmine losing 3 players on the push, 4 technically, because we've got some front spawns coming in. They are falling back very quickly, Arx. And in the background, Froyo have been patiently building their Uber, which is now ready to rock and roll.
Yep, this is definitely Froyo's push to win, as Jasmine did give up the midpoint, didn't get any time on it when they were pushing, and now Froyo pushing in aggressively. That Zaka does go down. Banny gets down in return, but crucially they've got the point, which is what they are trying to do. As it looks like Jasmine yet again being pushed back to their last. Can Froyo push it this time? They have an Uber advantage, very, very slight. It's not going to come into play here, as Ubers are for both teams. And we will see our Froyo going to make a push quickly, because they need to get around on the board here. They're 2-0 down at the moment. There's only, 10 minutes remaining?
10 minutes. Yeah, so Yui running sniper would have been called very early. Both teams have that Uber now, so that slight delay. In the past, we have spoken about top teams, the advantage ever been so slight, and actually that can change the round or win the fight in their favour, but they haven't making the most of it. That's Froyo haven't making the most of it, I must say. And it's Banny counter sniper taking down Yui. So will that prompt a push? It's 1 down. They still need to make up the mind very quickly, and does look like they want to come in. Another headshot onto that soldier as he peeked round from Banny.
Banny trying to get close.
So close. but they're in Arx. Finally, they're in. Well, heavy there. Someone needs to get back up there. Uber has been popped by Jasmine. TLR and Muma goes down.
Counter.
2 damage dealers, but counter Uber coming in to delay as much as possible. Get those front spawns there as quickly as possible. Jasmine not doing enough Arx. It isn't going to happen, I don't think, because of those front spawns. But, eat my words, a sneaky position by Paddy takes down Geo. A lot of deathmatching going on at the moment, but Jasmine looking like they're going to win this fight. Front spawns on their way, Arx.
Yeah, they've got at least 5 of their 6 players alive, sitting out in that yard area. So even though the capture point has been taken, they do have the option to try and push it in. Froyo do have the numbers advantage. Zaka does go down. Madness as well. Jasmine going to be in a bit of trouble here as the point is already taken. It is going to be a 6-on-4 on the last point. No Ubers are coming into contention at the moment. Geo does go down, and that's going to, well, not help them at all. 2 players. Froyo only have to deal with WARHURYEAH, and they've got players on the point. This is going to be the first round on the point. Bar some absolute miracle play. He tried, but it was not good enough. 2-1 the score as Froyo are finally in this game.
So there we have it. So we saw earlier on in the competition that Froyo threw away a 3-0 lead against Jasmine on Process. 8 minutes remaining. Would it be now the turn of Jasmine to throw away that ever so slight lead on Granary Arx? I mean, we've seen 1-minute rounds on this map before, pretty much 1 minute and 30 seconds, but doesn't look like we're going to get that today.
Cases.
Yeah, we're not going to get that today on this match, but do we think Froyo can win this mid-fight again?
It depends on how Jasmine are feeling. They've obviously gone from comfortably winning now to just 1 point in it. And that can suddenly make players play a little more passive, and Froyo, with a bit of momentum, might be able to push forward. We'll have to see how they respond on this mid-point. Jasmine's still playing the same way, getting that early time on there. Soldiers jumping aggressive. Zaka does get absolutely annihilated, but TLO goes down in at the same time. Soldiers are both down, but look how much capture point time they've got on there. They are going to get cleaned up here. If Banny... are they... Sorry, Rumour's jumping over.
Paulson goes down, and it's only Dave who survives. Paulson
but look at the capture time. All of that time has to get reverted. There's 1 scout sitting on the midpoint. TLR's not going to get a forward spawn for a long time because they only left ×2 on there. So even though they're pushing, we've got to watch out that Froyo don't go too aggressive.
Where Froyo are? I don't think they do. They're all going to be caught as they come out of spawn. Pushed all the way back, but mid still needs to be captured here, finally. But Yui and Geo getting wrecked as they come out of that spawn area.
I don't think they realise that
it's
it's basically a 5v4 at the moment. Froyo don't have the players there. TLR was well out of position for a long time. He's still not there. They only have 4. Jasmine actually have a player advantage here, and they have their Uber charge. They need to be defending this a bit more aggressively, but they're just being completely intimidated by 4 players. Come on the point! Nobody went over! They had their Uber charge. They had everything they needed to contest that point. And this is what I meant about they playing so passive. There's no reason for it. There was 1 point in it. They've completely just threw away that round. And Froyo right now carrying all the momentum. They are going to be feeling really good, whereas Jasmine, the nerves are coming into play.
1 minute and 1 minute and 16 second round that was. What did I just say?
Yeah, you said we're not going to see a 1 minute round.
What did I just say?
Wow.
Silly.
We're not going to see another one.
Right, so round 5 coming out here. So 6 minutes left. Will it be the turn of Jasmine to throw away their slight lead on Froyo as we saw earlier on in the competition? Let's go through this next mid-fight. Arx been doing a good job. Keep with it.
They need to play aggressive here. This time they're not getting the players on the point, which just shows that they're playing a bit more passively. It's not necessarily a bad thing because last time they lost players aggressively earlier. TLR is tried to roam over onto the flanks, but he got isolated, and both soldiers for Froyo in danger here. Paddy and TLR down. We'll have to see. It looks like Jasmine have responded positively. They've got a lot of time on the point as well. Scouts still trying to deathmatch around and delay it as they can, but they are surely going to get cleaned up. The question is, can they get any decent picks? The answer is, well, no, they cannot, as they've already captured this point. Moving through, they're going to get the yard for free. Jasmine just trying to make sure they don't tilt.
I can see Froyo being pretty upset about that. I thought they had the better map positioning as Dave got caught. That's a drop. Oh my gosh.
It's still not the end. It's still not the end of the world right now, and if they can continue playing quite aggressively here, they might be able to hold the yard area. They just can't get intimidated out of this position. Obviously, there is going to be an Uber charge swing in this. Froyo are going to have the advantage, but they're the ones who still have to push. And I don't like that Jasmine have moved all the way back out to mid. I feel like that even without their medic, they could have at least not given that area for free.
Well, they have Arx. They
certainly have. And now they're at an Uber disadvantage as well. So not only have they given ground for free, it's given the option for Froyo to come and try and take that midpoint. But then again, they are the pros, so they obviously have a strategy in their minds, and they're executing that.
Yeah. So actually, funny enough, when Dave respawned, there was a bigger advantage than it is now. So Froyo really close at the moment with their Uber charge, but look how fast Jasmine have built that. Dave's done a great job of getting that back, and now the advantage has gone.
Yep, Froyo not really taking it upon themselves to push it, but again, it should be Jasmine's push. The problem is they're playing so passively because they've been a bit rattled by those 2 round losses. They might say they haven't, but you can clearly see that their play style has changed according to that. As Zaka does go in to try and force it, is that going to be Froyo to try and to see if they can push with that advantage? They're not really.
No, they don't fancy it.
They're slow. They're making the decision. You can tell the comms are saying, well, should we? And TLR at least trying to edge his way in through that point. Jasmine deciding to push through to the right-hand side. They're getting some kills here. Players are going down. Dave has dropped, but they are going for the all-out, pushing over onto the point. We've got a scout and a demo man over onto the back cap, and that is what we are looking out for. TLR going in aggressively. There were stickies. Demo does get taken down. The back cap's not going to happen, but it has pulled them back, and it's allowed Jasmine T to get those forward spawns. And, well, we'll have to see. Are they going to be able to hold mid with this? I'm not sure, but they've probably made the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, well said, Arx, because TLR are dropping Dave with his Uber, so there's 2 drops now for Dave. They won't be able to hold on to this mid. I'm very surprised they're coming in. Actually, they've done a good job of taking Banny and TLR down
they've got the advantageous positions here. So obviously, Froyo don't have an Uber charge, so they can't use that. And actually, they are pushing through very aggressively here, just trying to secure them back inside of their second point.
Yeah, Jasmine have done all the way through the yard onto their second CP, and I fully agree with your comments a minute ago. They did make the best of a bad situation there. The demo of Paulson and Yui, the scout, coming back round behind them and obviously delaying that mid capture, and they still got time on the second CP arcs. They could still actually, maybe if they can force out, and Froyo need to be wary of that because we know how fast that second CP can cap, especially if you've got a lot of people there, and then getting the front spawns probably quite key. Just looking at where Paddy is at the moment, so he's hidden up top. Of course, we've been seeing Jasmine favouring that entrance on the garage side. They've all stacked that left corner, Arx. They know this fight. Probably, if they lose this fight, this map is over.
It potentially could be. They are making their push in now. The Uber has been popped because the Stickies above the point. Stickies are still sitting there. Obviously, he's waiting for the scouts to come through without that Uber charge. They haven't got much time on the point right now. Geo does get taken down. It looks like Zaka's going to get isolated as well. He is all the way behind them. That's 2 players down early. Free State does go down with TLR. Are they going to be able to get any time in on the point? I think Froyo are a better grouped here, as Yui's the only one alive. He's not going to go for a back cap scenario, and that is a wipe, as Froyo are going to be pushing through onto this midpoint.
2 minutes remaining, so Froyo could still take this map, and which will be probably come as a surprise given the 2-0 lead Jasmine had earlier on. Huge Uber advantage as well for Froyo, so I imagine they'll take, well, they've got third, of course. It's all going to come down to Jasmine's defending arcs. Are they going to defend aggressive and get that Uber out of them? Because they need to. Yui running sniper as well, Arx. Just to let you know, looking for that pick, making sure it's something out of the ordinary. And he's, is he sitting in front spawn? He is sitting in front spawn, I must say. I haven't seen.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, he switched it up. He switched it up, and Yui's actually put a sentry on last.
I'm again not sure. I'm not sure with that situation either, because actually Jasmine have put up very good defenses of their last CP so far in this game.
Agree on the second.
With standard classes. With that engineer, you're already giving up second. There simply isn't an option to try and defend that 5v4. I mean, they'll certainly have a go.
TLR
but
behind.
Oof,
he takes down Zaka as well. So 2 death matches gone. No scout, no soldier. They need to get this Uber out. Would be great help. And there we go. So they both popped in that corner, and it's looking like. It's one of the soldiers got behind. TLR's isolated on his own. He's now being hit by the sentry. Probably going to get taken down on the top part. Still the fight going on for that second CP. Froyo getting time on there. We just have 50 seconds remaining, so it's going to be all or nothing now. TLR does finally get taken down.
I really hate this.
Just going to wait Arx for literally 20 seconds, and they're going to come in, surely.
I hate this kind of strategy. You're inviting Froyo, you're giving them an all or nothing push to try and take this, whereas had they have stayed the same, maybe they could have defended second or got an Uber charge out of them. They've completely conceded all of that ground, and now the game can only be won by froyotech. There is just no other option. The sentry, yeah, it is great, but a few pipes and it does go down. We will see there's no Uber coming in. They are trying to get ground in, but the sentry's not coming into play because they've gone in through that direction. TLR does get taken down. Freestar taken down as well. Jasmine might be able to hold on to this sentry gun, getting a lot of damage out onto Banny. It is trying to delay it. They are playing the time game. They might just hold this off here. Froyo not with the best push at all. Uber is there, and it does look like they are going to hold on to this point. 2-2, the final score.
2-2. So we're going to go to Golden Cap. No draws in this competition. Arx, what on earth happened to Jasmine?
I think that they did a very good job, but well, they couldn't hold on. They couldn't hold on to their lead. They surrendered a lot of ground, and I think nerves just got to them when they realised, hang on a minute, Froyo are coming at us. They're starting to get back into their game, and yeah, it was. I'm surprised with their last defence. Actually,
I would say actually Jasmine started off really strongly. I don't know if there's a little bit of hangover there from Froyo yesterday. But they came more into the game, Arx. You can't deny that. I thought personally as well that Jasmine started to play a little bit more tentatively. They definitely had the aggression earlier on, and we saw later on they were giving points away exactly like Froyo was.
I mean, okay, so the engineer on defence did work. The engineer on defence did work. It did stall them out, but it's only because they got the few picks to start with. Now, you see that kind of defence fail so many times, whereas actually they could have tried to defend from second and push out. I guess they deemed it that even if they do successfully defend, there's no option for them to try and push out and win that round. So sometimes the full-on title defences do work. Just so many times I've seen those defences fail that it's high risk.
Yeah. Well, we saw actually though that, I mean, of the different strats though, it definitely seems to be Jasmine trying to switch it up a little bit more. Funny enough, so a couple of key points I think to look forward to in this golden cap. So the mid fight, Froyo I think took 3 mid fights in a row in the end. Maybe better positioning. Secondly, of course, that second CP. So Froyo, if they are going to be on the attacking front, they need to make sure they get past Jasmine's defense in the second CP. Yeah, they did it again at the end, but Jasmine just need to go back to what they were doing, Arx. I don't know what they were doing at the start, but it was working so well.
If you watch the style, because obviously I'm sitting in free cam, sitting above the point each time, and the first 2 rounds, Jasmine were pushing very far forward. They were getting a lot of early capture time onto the CP. Soldiers were then going aggressive, and the players that were sitting on the CP could then push forward and support those soldiers as they jumped up. They had a very aggressive approach, which was working once they dealt with the jumping soldiers.
Here we go. Arx.
They stopped it though. After they lost their 2 rounds, they stopped pushing those early players onto the capture point, and that meant that when their soldiers jumped aggressively and had to fall down because of the obvious pressure, there was no one to fall down to support them, so they just got isolated, picked off, and Froyo won the rounds. Won those mid points. I think that just goes to show their mentality.
So it's going to be golden cap to decide it. And here we go. So upper bracket round 2 of Multiplay's i58 Team Fortress 2 competition. Team Fortress TV's Arx and Beta bringing it to you. Granary still. So this is the first map of a best of 3. This is golden cap to decide who takes the first map. Hopefully a sign of good things to come. Arx.
Hey.
Oh.
Someone forgot to change the clock.
Someone forgot to change the clock.
Good game, guys.
So, we had that earlier as well. What is going on with these server setups? I don't know, but we had this earlier as well. So the map started, and then of course it ended.
There we
Finally,
go.
oh, another countdown I can hear in the background, which was again stopped. I'm just going to stop saying we're about to start. What would you like to see different on the mid fight, Arx? From Jasmine.
It has to be from Jasmine because Froyo have got the momentum. As you said, they need to be playing how they were playing in those first 2 rounds. They need to not play the passive game, because it just isn't working for them. When Froyo have got that room to move, they go for it. Whereas, yeah, that's what they need to do in this.
We're just Yep. So we're just going through a couple of restarts here, but we are now pretty much ready to rock and roll. Arx, then come on, golden cap, first map, Granary. Who's your money on? I said Jasmine T at the beginning, by the way.
Froyo have got all the momentum. It's I mean, Jasmine T, they seem to be playing a quite a controlled game, but it feels like they're getting a bit nervous here.
You think?
I think Froyo, if Froyo win the mid fight, they've won the round. Whereas if Jasmine win the mid fight, it doesn't necessarily mean they have.
Is it an all or nothing mid fight?
Well, we'll have a look now as it is underway. A bit of damage is coming out over onto the demo man, but that's quickly healed up. Well, Muma, not so much. As now they are playing aggressive. Soldiers getting up onto the crates. Paddy did get isolated and taken down. Banny forced to fall back up top. Soldiers putting pressure on him, but Banny 2-shots him off of the balcony. Here we go. Jasmine T getting that time on the point. Scout on there to cap it. They will be continuing this push as they do have a slight numbers advantage. trying to push through into the yard. They're going to get that area for almost free as well. Uber charge is ready for both teams. I don't think it's sensible for Froyo to Uber out in the yard at this point, so they are going to be forced to fall back in, and Jasmine are certainly on the front foot.
Yeah, so Jasmine taking that mid-fight after everything we said about the mid-fight performance. It seems to be a little bit more coordinated there.
They got forward. They moved on to the point. They allowed that aggressive approach, secure the high ground, and they had players on the ground to back them up if the enemy decided to jump up. So that is exactly what they were doing in the first 2 rounds. It's almost like they've thought, right, okay, we need to go back to that. We need to get our confidence up. Let's play this one aggressive. On the other hand, Froyo might have been thinking, well, you know what, this is golden cap, this is all or nothing, let's not make any mistakes. So maybe their mentality has gone into that sort of passive approach where they've thought, okay, as long as we don't lose, then we could still win. Yeah.
Jasmine in that garage area, Arx to the right-hand side of the second CP. I think it's been called. Yeah, it has definitely been called now. Scout 3 State getting a nice welcome rocket to the face. But Froyo just sitting at the back, so tentative this approach, trying to come through the Z as well. They're just going for that pick Arx. As he says, who is that on point? It looks like it was just one of the soldiers. Well, it was Geo trying to go forward, trying to bait some stickies being detonated. But this is pretty much where it comes down to, Arx. Again, like you said earlier, Froyo will not want to give up this fight because they'll be on their last again. And Jasmine have been pretty successful pushing into the last.
One thing to take into account, though, is Dave. Like, again, speaking about mentality, he has had a couple of Uber fails so far in this game. That might mean that he's more reluctant to hold on to it, and he might pop Ubers early, which could throw the advantage in favor of froyotech if he's feeling those nerves still. But again, these are some of the best players in the game right now. And, well, you'd like to think that they can make decisions when under pressure.
Yeah, you can just see the completely different approaches to Golden Cap. So if you are new to Team Fortress 2, Golden Cap is exactly like a golden goal in football. Whoever takes it wins this map. So it's pretty much neither team wanting to concede anything at all. Bear in mind, oh, he goes down. It's only the scout. What Jasmine doing? No, I'd be very surprised if Froyo do push out. No, they're not Arx. As I was saying, so it is a best of 3 format across its map. So we'll have another following map of this being Gully Wash. But neither team will, of course, want to lose that first map advantage, Arx. And a little bit of stalemate. Of course, Jasmine's still waiting for that respawn to come in. We did we not have this, something similar to this earlier on in the competition with these guys?
They yeah,
I think these guys went to a stalemate on Golden Cap earlier on in the competition, did they not? Or didn't do Golden Cap, did we? No, of course. 4-4 it finished, so we did have a draw, so we know it's possible.
In they come.
Finally, here they come, and it's only Yui actually. No one followed in.
Yui down again. This time, are Froyo going to try and push out because they've made a decision quickly, and it looks like they're at least trying to get out through the door. But they are a bit isolated. Uber's popped for both teams, as now Soldier and Medic versus Soldier and Medic just dancing around outside, waiting for it to expire. It does look like Froyo are a bit isolated here. Geo jumping up high into the sky to try and just avoid those rockets, as Free State also gets taken down. That's 2 down for Froyo, 1 down for Jasmine, but it is the Demo Man, and that's quite key when trying to push in. Flank is coming in. Madness up top gets pressure on Banny. Soldier of TLR does turn around and try and just force him back, but it looks like Jasmine in a good position, getting time over onto the point. In comes the Demo Man for Froyo, though, trying to put spam. Is it going to be enough? He goes down 3 versus 3. Can they hold the capture point? They do have a little bit of time left to capture, and it looks like Froyo taking a decisive action to hold on to that. And wow, Jasmine are going to have to fall out. They're not getting it this time.
The hand it to Froyo. That was really well played. I thought they were a little bit of an odd call where half the team are outside and Muma was inside just on his own, sticking up the point, ready for the defense. Seems to have worked. Paddy, a little bit isolated versus Yui at the moment. That's going to delay Froyo coming out of the yard. Of course, he is taken down, but it's allowed the rest of the Jasmine team to try and push back in on the left-hand side of their end. Both Ubers have been popped. Who's just looks like Muma's going to get taken down, a little bit out of position, isolated. TLR going to get taken down as well.
Careful of Zaka, though, was over onto the back cap. He's not going to be able to hold it as scouts do dominate him, but that move alone has allowed them to push back in. They are taken into this point. It looks like Froyo have fallen back. They've completely given up this point, and they're now back on their last.
Yeah, they lost the damage dealers, Arx. Demo went down early, TLR late, but before that they lost one of the other soldiers as well. So
slight Uber advantage
Paddy,
as well.
Who just did actually get the spawn, is now down again. Interesting. After all that, Arx, Jasmine have got a slight Uber advantage, about 20%.
Yeah. And that could, if they take this decisively and they move through the door with maybe 5% to play, that is a large enough Uber advantage that it could come into play. Whether or not they can, with that heavy being up top and with Yui going down at probably the worst time that you can lose a player, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's disappointing actually. We've often spoken about slight advantages in the top level of Team Fortress 2, and it does come down to sometimes 5% on Uber advantage, 10%.
The thing is, it is quite easy as casters where we can, and spectators as well, because we can see that exact number. They just have to assume it, and maybe they assumed that it's not a 20% advantage, maybe they thought it's a 10%, and 10% is not really enough if you're the one making the push.
So Paddy running Spy Arx, so slight change, very interesting. So Froyo trying something a little bit different on this defense.
This is so risky because if Paddy goes down without getting a pick...
That's a soldier as well gone.
Yeah, that is a pick going. He's sitting up behind the demo man. They've spied him. He gets a front stab on the medic. He's going down. If Jasmine going to immediately push off of that pick, they still have to deal with a heavy, but they do have that sniper. If he can get in, it allows him to get through the door. Soldier has cleaned up the stickies, or at least trying to, as more stickies are being replaced, but he's eventually going to run out of ammo. They're rotating around to the other side. Is he going to get a pick through? Tries to go for the heavy, only gets a body shot. He needed the headshot on that as Demo Man has rotated, and it looks like Paddy is going to be alive. Is he changing class? Yeah, he's gone straight back to Soldier. Yeah,
Zaka getting taken down as well. So interesting strat from Froyo. Didn't work this time. Someone forgot to tell Paddy that face stab bug went about 6 years ago. Even I know that one.
Well, that's the thing. The engineer strategy we said was high risk before on the last round, but that spy is an even higher risk. If you get that pick on the medic, you've almost guaranteed a push out bar some freak back cap. But the spy is, if the spy goes down, they instantly know they have a pick and they can make that move forward. Jasmine didn't manage to do it this time, but if they want to try, well, I don't think they're going to try that again.
Yeah, I'm still in eyes and Yui just trying to get rid of some of those stickies on the door. He most likely knows where most of them are, and in fact, he's probably just checking for sniper first, but he's been baited out. If Muma detonates, and he does detonate, so he's going to get taken down. Froyo looking like they want to push Arx. Here we go.
Are they getting tired of this? Is the question. They still have that heavy. It's really hard to push in with that heavy. And if somebody does go round and manage to get through up top to go for a back cap, the heavy just can't react that quickly. Paddy does go down, so that's one of their soldiers down, so that's surely holding the push. But is that going to prompt the Jasmine to make a push here? It doesn't look like it. They are certainly they're relying on the sniper pick.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have an SG from Banny as well. It's been up for a while.
Got caught. Oh, so again now, a big damage dealer from Jasmine down. Could this be Froyo's time to push in? Again, with that heavy, very, very slow to make a decision, and Paddy's gone back to Spy Arx.
Well, this is the thing. Okay, so round timer, 6 minutes 45 is there remaining on the round. So we have seen this before, where a round has just stalemated and it's reset to go back into a mid-fight. But is that going to be a case? Because Froyo, they just don't have the classes to make a push out if they do get the picks in.
Paddy's in behind the medic. Face stab. And Yui gets a pick on Free State as well. Could this be Jasmine's time? That's 2 players down from Froyo. Surely they've got to do it.
It better be their time. They better go in off 2 picks. Otherwise, what are they waiting for? You're not going to wipe a whole team with just picks. So Sentry does go down. That's the demo man getting that pop out. Are they going to be able to make some ground in? The respawns are coming in 2 seconds, 1 second. They are spawned. Are they going to get out?
Headshot to the jumping soldier. Yui's looking at the medic going for that pick.
Time's on the
TLR
point.
down. But Gio down as well. Jasmine losing a couple of players. Yui going to work on the Froyo team.
Man. He's got good health. Medic is helping him out, but with that sniper, he's not really got the deathmatching capability. Yui is falling back. Scouts are chasing them. They're going to be in a bit of trouble here. He needs a miracle headshot. Can he line it up? No, he's fallen back into the yard. Froyo going to be retaking their second CP after what looked like a catastrophe for them.
Yeah, a great defense by Froyo in the end. Maybe the SG diverted some eyes, allowing those front spawns, allowing the spawns to come in, not front spawns. Just making sure, catching up with ourselves. Let's have a look at what the end result is. So Froyo retaking that second point. Jasmine all the way back onto mid. Uber percentages, slight advantage for Froyo. I'll be very surprised if they kept up with that, if I'm honest with you. Yui, still running sniper, of course, hasn't gone down yet. But TLR's right next to him, going to force him back. How much is left on this round? Well, actually, there's been a change of CP, so that it's gone back to normal.
It resets. It was only a case of there was still 6 minutes, and it's very unlikely to the point where in, 7 years of TF2, I've seen it happen once. So it certainly was an odd one, as Yui does get picked down. Are Froyo going to push out? They've got momentum.
Banny's in behind him. No one spotted him.
They're getting out here.
Really uncontested. Zaka goes down.
Zaka dealing no damage
by both teams. And just trying to catch up, and it looks like Jasmine have fallen out. 2 players down, 3 players down.
This is not going well for them. Froyo playing this absolutely amazingly. Zaka dealt no damage over onto the mid. point there. He was just sitting up top waiting for a flank when his team really needed some damage output from him. As Froyo pushing through already, leaving one scout. They are rotating round to the left-hand side. They're not going to catch Jasmine out of position, who did react just about in time. Otherwise, you would have found that Muma there could have potentially cut them off there. But Froyo now in the ascendancy. Jasmine, nerves are surely rattled here. Are they going to be able to hold on to this and make a push out? We will, well, time will tell.
Yeah, so if you just joined us, it's upper bracket round 2 of i58's Team Fortress 2 competition. This is map 1 of froyotech versus Jasmine T. So the Americans going up against the Australians. I don't think you could get 2 teams further away from each other coming to Europe for this match. Best of 3 format. This is golden cap, so it's all or nothing, winner take all on this first map. And as you can see, Froyo just coming all the way back from their last CP, pushing Jasmine all the way back, and just trying to see Paddy fails the jump as he comes through. Gonna eat some rockets and runs into Yui as well. Arx, I don't think Jasmine will push from that, of course, but do you think, oh, I say that, they're coming through the Z, they're going to get out on the right-hand side, Banny, but there's a lot of action going on in the background. Demo and Yui getting caught, both Ubers coming in onto that garage area. Just seeing where TLR's coming in behind him. He gets taken down, but there is time on point.
Oh,
a free state coming in, uncontested behind him. It's 4 players down for Jasmine. It's only Zaka and Madness still alive. They're out on the left trying to push Froyo back, and actually,
they will. There was
Froyo
only the
fell
medic
back.
alive. It was 2 spawners alive, so only the medic was there. Madness does get taken down. Have they overextended a bit? They've just lost 2 of their players. They're going to be spawning through on last. froyotech surely going to be pushing through. Do they have the numbers? It looks like they have at least 3 players with another 3 coming in the spawn. I don't think that's enough to just outright take the second point on that push.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Yui actually setting up the full defense arcs, going full turtle, engineer, SG back right. I'll be surprised if they let Froyo have it for free, but with Geo not there, what they should be aware of, Froyo have a huge Uber advantage here, so Jasmine need to get it out of them, or otherwise we're going to see a roll as they come in onto this point, and it looks like they're aware of it, being played more aggressive. 3 state going down won't help, but here comes that Uber Arx. Heavy going to be completely destroyed. Madness all on his own.
I don't think they've called the SG though. They've only just noticed it. Demo only just putting pressure on it now. Engineer was shooting the stickies as they were landing next to the SG, so there was no detonate. Now he's trying the pills over the top, but that's not working either. Respawns are slowly coming in. Free State has just come alive, whereas Madness still has a few seconds, but they've had to fall out because they discovered that SG was there so late into that fight that they got in and, well, there was no option.
Well, Arx, just to let you know, so I think that's a pretty poor push from Froyo. Big Uber advantage there. Maybe they rushed it.
It was a terrible push.
But it's Jasmine T's turn to have that Uber advantage. Arx, Froyo well aware of this, falling all the way out.
Point.
No
Soldier
one
has
the
gone
point
up
at the
top.
moment.
Is that Soldier going to look for a backhand? No, he's just sitting up top. I think Zaka did have him covered there, and that's Paddy jumping up there, and yeah, the push out is just not working.
No, it hasn't. But again, now it's Froyo's turn to have the huge Uber advantage as they come in onto that last CP. Jasmine falling all the way back. They know the SG's there this time. It's gone down.
Time on point.
Time on point. Medic on their own. Someone's going to have to come in and block. It's Madness. But Banny, the scouts.
Oh, more time on point.
Free still going to work. And it's finally going to be Froyo taking this first map. Score 3-2 after a golden cap. So we're going to be going into our second map with froyotech 1-0, 1 ahead. And Arx, like you said, Froyo in the ascendancy, kept the momentum. Must have been a little bit of nerves on that Jasmine side.
It could be, but the other way to look at it, to give Froyo some credit in that, is that actually maybe Froyo just adapted to the playstyle of Jasmine and forced them back, because even though they weren't walking forward over the point, maybe the aggressive Soldier jumps made them play differently. Yeah,
and well, we've got a specialist team to do all the analysis for us. They've been patiently watching this match. Arx, it looks like I was wrong, but we'll have, stay tuned for the second map. We've got some great analysis coming up. And we're going to flick over to them in just a moment.
Or now.
Now. Hello, thank you so much. And how about that? All 3 of us were here sitting and watching that finish. As good as yesterday was, I like today better already. Agreed?
That was so tense, though, that like my butt was so clenched that I'm now stuck to a chair.
Okay.
We need a new chair.
Get a new chair for war. That's not a big deal.
Let's
get right into the logs. Let's dig right into it. I'm still, boy, oh boy. Pushing from their own last and winning that one is... we have this is the golden cap logs. Here we go. I mean, that's still worth looking at.
Yeah.
Separate log for the rest of the game, but
I mean, it was 14 minutes, so you know, it's more
Half
than
a
enough
map.
anyway.
Yeah.
It was obviously quite stalematey, so that explains like the low kill count. But Geo doing quite a bit of damage. I was kind of impressed with Jasmine overall, and I'm kind of disappointed that they did lose that. Obviously, they had such a fantastic mid.
Yep.
If we can bring up the normal logs anyway, because that's probably better to look at.
Yeah.
because
Better representation of the whole thing.
There's
have at
bigger
it.
numbers
Yeah.
as well. There, you can get double digits, which is always scary for people like me, but
numbers can get really large usually. Yeah, we had 383 DPM though for Geo just in that short time. Can we get the let's get the main log pulled up here, as War said. All right, so now we can look at what matters.
Banny was very, very good in this game. And it's been something that's quite consistent. He's had like a very, very high assist count. He's finishing off the frags, but also creating them. Geo, again, really, really solid DPM over both of them. He has the highest DPM on like both the in normal time and the golden cap as well. So I was actually very, very impressed by him.
I think he was getting better Ubers than Tyler as well.
Yeah.
Like, consistently throughout when it came to these sort of, especially on Granary, just no sort of big, fully buffed pocket soldiers, button heads. Geo, not like significantly, but he edged him out in a lot of those Ubers, and it didn't pay off in the end, but there was a lot of moments where these Ubers set them up for a chance to take a round or to win the golden cap.
I do feel like that, because of the map, Geo using gunboats and TLR still using shotgun,
In
I do feel like
2016.
in current year of 2016,
Yep.
I feel like it actually is now sort of being more favourable to the teams to run gunboats. I don't think it is really serving TLR that well.
Yeah.
Credit to him, he is running it. So again, if he is comfortable with it and he feels that is the best, then by all means he'll probably carry on. But I just felt that maybe Geo was able to sort of survive and take better Ubers because ultimately he had more health. He was able to sort of create a bit of space and jump back to his medic as well. You have so much more maneuver capabilities to keep yourself alive and output damage as well, whereas with the shotgun, you're more sort of grounded and quite stationary. It's not such a big deal, especially if you're just on second, but on places like last, where it's quite open, you want to be able to change positions, get onto the high ground just in a click of a finger. Those kind of things are needed.
Yeah, Twitch chat fixating on the 11 deaths by Muma. That's the lowest deaths among non-medics, though. It's still very impressive.
Is that his highest in Islam?
Just as
Funnily
I don't
enough
think
as
it's
well.
the highest, but I'm impressed also by Paulson, who perhaps did just as well. And apparently his support is being doubled, I'm told.
Yeah.
But very strong and almost equal performances by both demos.
The another thing that I really want to sort of point out is something that I pointed out before the golden cap. Dave has died 6 times.
Yep.
He dropped 4 Ubers during the normal game.
He could have opted out of 4 of those 6 deaths.
His life was in his own hands at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not feeling too self-confident and a bit
His
suicidal.
drop rate is a high percentage for him.
Yeah.
Drops to death. That is going to mess up his stats and people's fantasy teams. So, God damn it, Dave. What are you doing?
God damn it, Dave.
Yeah, God damn it.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
We can have a look, perhaps, while you're on the Dave topic. We can look at the medic information here, I believe. We probably have the heal stats as well, just as
Yeah,
we
see, there you
as
go.
you mentioned.
4
there's the
drops.
4 drops.
When you talk about
Garbage.
how close the game was as well, like how close at all points it was, and you have one player who's kind of letting you down in those key situations. The fact that they had 4 drops and still held it 2-2, like held on to those early 2 rounds they got. Without those 4 drops, I don't know if it's nerves or what, because we've not really seen it before from Dave. Like he's maybe caught 1 or 2 things that he
It
shouldn't
might have
have
been sort of like one of those situations that Byte used to do, where someone would go on him and he would just go, "I'm not Ubering for this. I'm not Ubering for this." And then you're just sort of like put there in the spot trying to kill the soldier that's jumping him, and then Byte dies and he goes, "Really?" And then just starts going, "Oh, Droso, long gas."
Wow, you guys are really...
No one's going to get these references.
prehistoric
because they're all-
memes
I
coming
think
out
people
They
will.
weren't born then.
There's old people watching. Very
was such a
striking.
boy.
We're looking at the frags are almost even. The damage almost exactly even too, which you don't see very often. Overall, I mean, not a surprise. I mean, we were here. We were watching it. It could have gone either way.
I was talking to War as well, and one thing that seems quite interesting is froyotech don't seem to be able to have a good 30 minutes. Like, in some of their previous games, they get off to a really good start, and then against Xenix we saw it, and against Jasmine in the group stage we saw it. The other team, they let the other team back into it. And then the other way,
they start bad, but the other one's coming back this time. But we can't. They don't have that sort of full 30-minute performance. They don't seem. I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they just sort of like just pick and choose, just flick a coin. All right, we're going to perform well in the first half this time, guys.
I don't know if they literally are flipping a coin. That might be taken a little far, but
it's a very big risk.
We can check in.
Not Overwatch, isn't it?
Yeah. Reusing jokes on the analyst desk.
Look, Overwatch is just one big joke. It's kind of hard to reuse it.
There's so many levels to the joke.
Odd shot.
It's like a big cake that is just filled with so many layers. You just take off the top one. Oh, there's another joke there. Yep.
Oh yeah,
Overwatch.
like a cake. Yeah.
Just like
coin toss.
Sorry,
with
an
cherry
onion.
on the top.
Yeah,
An
I know.
onion.
Oh yeah, onion cake. Tell you what, we're moving on to the next map, Arx Beta. Do it.
Delay, we got that perfectly timed, gentlemen. Thank you very much. This is the second map.
It's almost
then.
like it was planned.
Oh no. Upper bracket round 2 of Multiplay's i58 Team Fortress 2 competition. You're still with froyotech versus Jasmine T. It's going to be Gully Wash. 1-0 up on the maps. Of course, froyotech are. You're with, of course, our coverage being brought to you by Team Fortress TV's Arx Beta. Arx, run us through this first mid.
So Gully Wash midpoint here. Froyo going in the lower entrance, whereas Jasmine looking to go up to the top right as Paddy does get taken down aggressively. Sorry, very early even, as Jasmine are pushing forward.
I think, is this even live? Yeah, they're restarting. I was going to say, what on earth is going on here?
It felt like there was a fair bit of lag as well, as you saw a soldier teleport through the air.
So, Arx, actually, given the first map and given the great analysis, who's your money on now? Are you still going froyotech?
Yes, and the problem is that my predictions don't really work with this map order, because I think that froyotech would probably take this map, but Badlands I would have put Jasmine T in, well, as the favourites for me. So in that sense, I've got to go with the 2-0 to Froyo.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But if Jasmine do manage to take this one, then I see them going all the way.
Interesting. Okay. So you think actually Froyo will take it, but if Jasmine T manage to pull something literally out of the bag, hey.
Yeah, and third map, I think they're doing it.
Well, here we go then. So just as a reminder, so this is the second map, best of 3 format on these knockout stages of the i58 Team Fortress 2 competition. The loser of this, so if Jasmine T loses, they will go down into the lower bracket where they'll have to fight their way if they want to see themselves in the grand final. The froyotech versus Jasmine T. Froyo 1-0 up on the score. Gully Wash is this second map. Arx, run us through to this first mid on Gully Wash.
Okay, players making their way in through. It looks like Jasmine going with a 3-3 split, whereas Froyo taking all of their players through the bottom entrance. It does look like Jasmine have got the height advantage, but that's sometimes a disadvantage if players are jumping forward. Madness does get taken down. TLR in return. A lot of time again on the point as a flanking soldier does come through. That's Dave going down. That means that Froyo are going to be recollecting over the side. They have got the sustain ability of having that medical life, but a lot of time on the point. There's only one scout of Free State trying to block that capture as Demoman is isolated underneath. He's got virtually no health. Has he even got enough to jump? No, Scouts discovered him.
Pretty much a wipe there actually for Jasmine T on that first mid. It looks like most of the players from, well, I say most, 2 players from Jasmine T went aggressive at the end to see if they can take down Medical 404, but it didn't happen, so we're going to see them have a huge Uber advantage. Madness already setting up that SG on to last. Was that Arx? Yeah, it was. They're going to give them second for free, but they will need to defend aggressively in this lobby area. They need to get that Uber out, or again, they may as well just kiss goodbye to this first round. And they're already up top on the balcony area, Arx, or the battlements area. They still need to stay in that lobby, surely, Arx. They can't fall back like this. Yui running sniper, maybe they're relying on that?
I mean, they just need to make sure that the Uber gets pushed out, well, forced out of them as they're coming through the door before they get to the SG, but that's not the case.
Late.
They've walked in through the lower entrance. Jasmine were expecting them to come in through one of the upper entrances there, as the SG does get taken down. They've also lost the engineer itself. TLR does go down, but he usually goes down first in these fights, or at least second. As Froyo, the push isn't really working. 3v3. It's all going to be if Geo can get the kills. There's one scout underneath, takes down the demo, walks on the point. Reaction, Dave needs to step on it. Does force the Uber out of them, as Muma does fall out up top. At least they got that scout down, but that could have been close.
Good defense from Jasmine actually there, Arx. They didn't have that Uber available, held out as long as they could. The idea being obviously was to force or to delay, and well, they delayed enough in the end. Yui still running sniper, setting up for the defense. Still might go for that pick though, top right. No, he's falling back. He knows I'm talking about him. His ears are burning. It's just waiting for that lower lobby area, Arx, making sure that his sniper shot can't be seen, of course. After all that, only Jasmine T have a slight Uber advantage. I'll be pretty proud of that defense if that was me, Arx.
Yeah, it certainly worked out, especially with how quickly the sentry gun and the engineer went down. The fact that they still managed to hold it was, well, it worked out quite well for them. Right now, the sniper has now changed to a scout. It looks like they are trying to push out and secure this lobby area. Froyo waiting up top. Wow, they've got that height advantage. Ubers are popped for both teams. Froyo trying to make a move, but I think they're a bit scattered here. Medic's running in with a soldier. He's only got another soldier available to him. Scout's also forwarded in. Dave's under a lot of pressure from the soldier, but does manage to escape underneath with very, very low health. Scout, surely that's been called as Scout tries to get over a bit of damage onto it. Dave's still isolated, does finally get taken down, but Froyo, only 2 players alive. Doesn't look like anyone's in a position for a back cap as 404 is falling out. He gets taken down as well. Jasmine really needs to start getting players onto that point, and they might even be able to carry momentum to third. A
bit of a messy push again from Froyo. 404 again, still trying to sneak in behind. A little bit isolated, a lot of their players. Obviously, I thought they had a good advantage there, coming in from that top balcony area or battlements area, but just didn't make it work, Arx. And I must hand it to Jasmine. It probably appeared messy because Jasmine were doing a good defense, but here they come onto this third CP. Coming in from the archway area. Froyo still probably don't have enough bodies there, and 404's pushed all the way out of the point, so they've got no heals there at the moment. Paddy's isolated as well.
Very isolated.
Should be taken down, but Paddy comes
Can he get the
huge
scout?
about to Geo. Zaka gets taken down as well, so both soldiers down. Will Jasmine take the point, Arx? They finally will. 404 and Banny going down in the background. 5 players down for Froyo. Jasmine, really, really good job.
Yes, Muma's he's sticking up inside. They're not even going to be able to contest this point. Scouts, obviously, they can sit up top on that capture point with that height advantage, and they're going to take this point for free. I don't think froyotech could have, well, had any say about that anyway, and they are opting to run that pyro on defense just to try and force them back, make them waste their Uber before they can get through the door. Yeah,
it's a huge Uber advantage, by the way, for Jasmine, massively. I mean, it's like 70% still. I mean, it just gives you an idea. They should be making the most of it. They need to play a little bit more aggressive. They will be wary of that engineer of Banny. They're coming down from the river side. Are they going to be able to get in? Let's see if there's any. There's no sniper there. Pyro, free state as well. They need to take care of him. They've Ubered really early. Soldier onto the point. No one's going to come down and block it. It's only Zaka there. Uber comes in now to save him.
He's still on it.
2 players down. Still time of point. And finally, there we have it. Jasmine do take this first round on Gully Wash. Wow, Jasmine really, really, really good start there.
Yes, the Jasmine scouts doing so much work during that game, but Geo sitting on top with that number of points. To be honest, the Froyo soldiers are just not, they're not performing right now, and that's the difference between these two teams. Jasmine scouts doing a lot of work, but then again, so are the Froyo scouts. So it's just their soldiers need to actually do something when they, especially when they turn up the aggression. It's not happening so far.
And let's see what they do on this mid-fight, Arx. Looks like Froyo favouring something slightly different this time. Muma coming in from the small left-hand side upper area, trying to stick him off as the jumping soldiers come in. Jasmine taking so much damage on the top there. A lot of people will need heals, and Froyo are well aware of this. Paulson and Dave go down. Medic's gone down there as well, so no heals at all now for Jasmine. And they have fallen out very, very quickly. Only Geo left. Is he gonna go and try for a pick on the Medic? No, he isn't. He's destroyed by Free State. And Jasmine have just lost 3 players trying to get that Medic down. It's Yui still left coming in as well. Froyo, blimey, that's pretty much a wipe there for Jasmine.
The push from Froyo was beautiful. It was, okay, so the way that Epsilon used to play when they, back in I46 or something, the way that they used to play is they'd go onto the midpoint, they'd dance around for a bit, and they would turn up the aggression within a second. All 6 of their members would move forward at the same time. Froyotech just did that push better than Epsilon ever did them. That was absolutely insane, the coordination. They all moved forward, and now this is the result of it. They're in over onto the last point. This push, however, not going particularly great as Demoman is isolated. Soldiers jumped in on his own for some reason. Obviously, he thought the rest of his players were in there, but it's not working too well for Froyo. They do have a numbers advantage still, though. Dave and Geo are the only ones. Geo's, they're separated at the moment. It looks like they are going to make this push happen. Are the respawns going to come in? No, they are not. Froyotech are going to take another, well, a round in reply very quickly.
Very quickly, so to see how long is left. 23 minutes remaining of this map, so pretty fast rounds. Again, a little bit more well-balanced. No, neither team taking significant lead, as we saw on Granary Arx. I'm not certain what really happened on that Jasmine on that mid-fight. It could be Muma sticking them off.
It had nothing to do with Jasmine. It was all about Froyo. They played that exceptionally well. If you just had a look at the timed aggression, it was 6 men moving forward all at the same time. It was absolutely perfect in what they did on that midpoint. I don't think any team could have done anything against that particular push. But we are on a new round right now. It is on round 3. Jasmine, are they going to reply, or are Froyo going to try and execute something of a similar nature? They've certainly they're the ones getting the time on the point. The initial one, Geo does go down quite early. Froyo backed off a little bit, but they are getting the kills as Jasmine walking one by one to them. Excellent play there from Paddy, just pushing them back, and Jasmine having to fall back.
Yeah, not wanting to lose anymore. It's only Paulson and Dave actually that got outside this minute, so they will have the Uber charge to defend on last. Unsurprisingly, Froyo do have a slight advantage because of purely the amount of damage they took. Keeping players alive as well. Froyo are already set up in that lower lobby area. It's only going to be one scout capping that second CP or the fourth CP, depending on which way you look at it. They want to lock in Jasmine. They're trying to do what they did on Granary, but Paddy and Banny both going down. So 2 players down for Froyo. Would Jasmine fancy a little cheeky push out, Arx?
If you're going to push...
Or that might stop it, Arx. That one kill might stop it. And it does look like they're going to fall back. Geo in a little bit of a sneaky position, but...
Whatever the action they decide to take, they need to be decisive about it. This right now is not being decisive.
It's interesting to know that, again, aggression.
Yeah.
It looks like Froyo have really turned it on since earlier on.
They certainly have. I think they're feeling a lot more confident now that they've got the first round win. So we're just going to have to see if they're going to, try and make a push.
Yeah, it looks like they're going on to the battlements area at the moment. Nothing much going on, but that said, trying to meet and greet. I assume that Uber has been popped. There we go. Paddy and Geo both going down.
Final point!
Back cap. There's a back cap going on. It's a scout that's come in through secret under the Riverside entrance, and it's 2-1 the score.
Yeah, he was sitting up top for a long time, actually, and I thought someone had that covered, but they certainly didn't, as Froyo do take the lead in this one, 2-1 the score. We are going on to round 4 as, can Jasmine take one back?
Well, Arx, you said if Jasmine win this, they could probably take the 3rd map as well. What do you think they need to change in this mid-fight? Because that's the 2nd in a row they've lost, Arx.
It's difficult to say. They're splitting up a little bit. Demoman is opting to go a different route, but that's pretty much standard. They need to deathmatch. They need to not send players too far forward. They get a couple of early kills. That could certainly help their cause as Froyo opt to fall out. And actually, Jasmine trying to cut them off. I'm not sure if they're going to get there in time. This could be very costly for either team. Demoman has actually stickied them out. And are they going to try and make a push? This could be disastrous for Froyo. They are completely cut off. Players are going down. They've capped the midpoint. 2 players down. They have respawned, which might allow some sort of flank. But actually, Jasmine deciding to back off for the time being. And
well, they won that mid-fight, Arx. That's the most important thing there.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose players in silly positions like that. And Geo overextending, completely isolated, and gets taken down. They will, of course, hold on to that 3rd CP. But look how defensive they are. They're almost welcoming Froyo onto them. Pretty much welcome him for free, in fact, opening the door wide open. Geo still not in the fight. Uber has been popped by both teams. Yui gets taken down. Will 404 get taken down? No, he won't. He manages to back out, and Jasmine started off defensive, and now they've fallen back. They've fallen back, Arx.
They're all over the place. They've kept 2 players with them, but TLR jumping in
Saka
aggressively.
Saka in behind on the medic. Oh, Free State saves 404. 4 players down, though, for Jasmine. Arx, and is this almost 2-on-2 here? Is it 2-on-2 going on this point?
Yeah, but the spawn advantage is in Froyo's favour. They cannot stay here particularly long. They're trying to just get some sort of spam out, but you watch as they are joined by Yui as a scout. He is putting a lot of pressure over onto the medic. He is protected, however. It does look like... which scout is that? I can't actually see who it is, but it is Banny taking down Yui over onto the point. Medic is also down. Wow, it looks like froyotech hanging on to that midpoint, but I don't think actually Jasmine should have gone for it.
Can't say that Arx 4-4 went down though. So now they got a huge Uber advantage.
Yeah. Okay. No,
yeah. So it worked. It worked. It's magic. I mean,
well,
they did have the front spawn.
They don't have a. Oh yeah. They do. They have a massive Uber advantage.
Yeah. They should hopefully walk relatively easy into this point, but now it would be the turn of Froyo to get that Uber out of them. They don't want to let them in for free, and they know which way they probably fancy. Trying to build as fast as they can. Already up almost 50%. Uber pops so early to make sure there's no stickies.
There's a soldier waiting to come up the drop down, but it looks like a scout was prepared for it? Have they? They didn't hear the rocket jump. He is sitting behind them, but Medic's nowhere near them. Jumping aggressively, double jump. Paddy going for it, gets a shot, but it was body blocked by the scout. No kill there for Froyo on it, and they are 3 players down.
Yeah, it's still Froyo trying to do their best, trying to get that med down. I'm surprised they went for that Arx, because they will have the Uber advantage. Now they're defending from last and potentially defending from second. Would have preferred second. How long is left? 18 minutes. There's still plenty of time. 2-1 the score in froyotech's favour. I'm just still surprised they went for it. Could have gone for the pick. Obviously, things go either way sometimes. Would it have made a difference? Probably. But now it's Jasmine's turn to push into Arx.
Free State just sitting up top. There's no one coming around the corner at the moment. They're still sitting outside, just waiting to see if Froyo, obviously they were aware that they had an Uber advantage and they didn't want to move in until they had their own Uber up available. Shot comes out, manages to connect with Yui but not get the kill. As is he going to change from his sniper now that he's been discovered? There is an SG also going up from Banny, who's now obviously running that engineer. And let's see now if Jasmine are going to make a push in through that right-hand entrance.
Yeah.
Bit of spam goes over there.
They
are aware of the SG now. They would have heard of the beep. And actually, Zaka, he forced the Uber out, which is a big deal. He got the information that there's an SG, and he forced the Uber out of them. And Jasmine just falling all the way out. They want to retain that Uber advantage, not give them an option to try and get that back. And although that has allowed Froyo to gain control of the lobby area for the time being, that Uber advantage is going to be a big deal.
Well, they better make up their mind. Arx sitting pretty far back at the moment. Now finally moving over to those battlements area. Seeing if they're trying to get in Riverside. Is it going to work for them? A lot of spam coming and pushing Froyo all the way back out. They will be aware of that Uber advantage. 60% for Uber for Froyo, but now
brilliant.
It's Jasmine coming in. It's forced Froyo all the way back out. Time on point. Zaka's there all on his own as before. Free State comes in to block. It's pushing him off point. Zaka takes care of him. He's still on his own. Someone's going to have to block that. Jasmine, Zaka doing the work all on his own. And there we have it. 2-2 the score. 16 minutes remaining, Arx. 16 minutes remaining. It's pretty close game.
It's actually pretty funny. Banny moved the SG from a different location, and you could tell that Zaka, when he went in to force the Uber beforehand, had called the location of the SG. Banny moved it behind the point, and the demo man came in and started sticking the old location of the SG. So I thought for a second that that little switch might have held them the point, but it wasn't enough. They identified the new position quickly. SG went down, and then it was well controlled. Zaka sitting on the point, and yeah, that round bringing it 2-2 as we go on to round 5 into the mid-fight. Now Zaka's underneath, putting a lot of pressure on Paddy. He's forced to fall back. He's nowhere near his medic either, so he's having to rotate all the way around. It's one player down, but Dave goes down very early in the fight. 2 players down. It's going to be a case of how long does this fight go on for. If it goes on for a long time, the medic advantage might come into play, but the positioning, it looks like Jasmine have got the positioning for the time being, while one scout is doing a ton of work at the moment over on them, and without that medic, they might actually be able to push this back in. They are sticking off for the time being, trying to just make a decision, but no, they're not. They're not going to, well, they're coming back in a bit late. The capture point's already been taken. Are they going to be able to take this back? Gio's got no health sitting behind. He wants to go for the medic. He's going to need 2 rockets out.
Yeah, he can't even jump on him. He hasn't got enough health. I'm surprised Froyo took so long on that Arx. I would have thought they started playing a little bit more aggressively, coming in a little bit earlier on.
I guess they were waiting for that Uber. If they wait for the Uber, then nothing can go wrong. But that 4th point is being captured very, very quickly. They've got a lot of the players there. In fact, nobody's finishing it off for some reason.
They're trying to lock him in again. Yui attempts to try and secure the lobby area, gets shut down immediately. Uber's been popped. Wow, so it's forced out. Paulson at the back there, putting some pipes down, some pills, trying to block as much as he can. 4-4 gets taken down in the background. So, in fact, that push from Froyo didn't really happen for them. And
Soldiers of TLR was underneath, got juggling a Soldier of Zaka up in the air. He's very, very weak. TLR's still there. Zaka's so low health, he's going to get taken down by this rocket. TLR on the point, but Scout does react, takes him down. 2 players alive. They're not in a position to back cap. Muma's falling back out of the point, getting a few stickies on the door. Is he going to be able to get a cheeky pick with him? No, he cannot. And why are Jasmine not taking back that other point yet? There's one demo man sitting on the point. Surely get another one on there, get that done to try and block some forward spawns. But I think Froyo are going to get them here, actually. Yes, they got all the forward spawns that they needed. And I think they could have
been a bit quicker.
If they had time spawn there, block the forward spawns, they could have got into 3rd before the players had got there.
Yeah. Uber's popped really early onto mid. Soldier goes jumping up, eats a massive rocket in return, gets forced down. Of course, they will take this 3rd CP. TLR's isolated on the end of background. 4-4 gets taken down by Paulson. So there we have it. So Medic goes down, but Dave, they take it down in return by Banny. Great save by Banny. So that be pivotal later on in this round. Definitely, as Jasmine secure that third CP, they're trying to push really quickly. They need to make the most of this now while they have the numbers. 5 players down for Froyo. Basically a wipe. And Jasmine need to make the most of this Arx. They're going to have... Well, the Ubers are going to be the same. Do you think they fancy it?
Oh, you think it's an Uber, right? Check out the Kritzkrieg building up before Jasmine. They are very much aware that the Ubers would have been in a very similar situation. Are they going to be able to make this count as a... Well, it's building up, and you can definitely see the slight advantage. They might only get 10% advantage, but if it's that first stick he can connect with a medic, that advantage will pay off. So we'll have to see if Jasmine are going to do it. It's a bold move.
Here we go. I assume it will definitely go.
Surely they need to move forward fast on this. They're on 90%. They need to be at the doors about now. Uber's on 85 already. Then they've wasted it. It's too late. The Kritzkrieg advantage is gone in about 2 seconds. Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. Oh my gosh.
They need to connect, but bearing in mind that they certainly have the element of surprise. That element of surprise could force out an Uber quickly, and they might be able to do a recycle attack.
Or back cap.
That could be the distraction they need. Demoman goes down early in the push. The Uber does come out. Now, it looks like they're not actually going to be able to make a push in for now because... Oh, they're not.
They are. It's a delayed push. It's almost like a reset. A recycle coming in. Froyo losing players all over the shop. Masaka coming in as well, taking out the SG, and there we have it. Another round on the board for Jasmine. 3-2 the score. 12.5 minutes remaining, just over 12.5 minutes remaining. Arx, that delay, well, that little secret passageway, literally secret pathway onto the last from Yui did enough.
It was really nice. It turned players around, forced them onto the point in a predictable location where you can fire a crit sticky. So the actual crit push worked out really well. Even though they didn't have, even though they let the other team build up an Uber advantage, an Uber charge. I think what was smart of them is they sat back for a second after those kills and said, look, should we fall back and get the Kritzkrieg up for the second push, or should we go in now? And they decisively chose to go in now, and it paid off. So 3-2 in favor of Jasmine. They've got the confidence right now.
They have.
froyotech sitting back. A lot of kills going down. 3 players already for Froyo. Getting annihilated. 404 does survive with TLR, not with TLR, who does get taken down. So he's on his own. He can't build that Uber. He's sitting at 40%. That's going to be an Uber advantage going on to, well, onto the 4th point. Let's see if they are going to be able to get forward and make use of this. It's a 20% advantage.
Yeah, 20%. We've said before, fine margins, and it's now the turn of Jasmine to try and come lock in Froyo. Pyro coming out as well on the defense. They won't have time to build an SG. Will that Pyro do enough to push them back? It's actually looking like they're still a bit tentative from Jasmine.
They're giving them the time, though. They're giving them the time. They're not really too bothered about going in for a sloppy push just with the Uber advantage. They want to have a controlled push. So actually, they've allowed Froyo some time to build up that Uber, but now they're in a great position. They're a round ahead. They've got Froyo on their last. They don't need to necessarily take this particularly fast. They can play for picks.
See if anything out the ordinary comes out. I mean, Free State still running Pyro. I'm just trying to see if someone's going to switch up to Sniper, but they haven't. Yui just still trying to do the sneaky peek. See if he can bait some detonations for those stickies again. Banny took a couple of, one old big old meat shot there, forced out by Yui. It was a good job. But of course, just Hills there, ready to buff him up very quickly again. Just to give you an idea of time remaining, 11 minutes, so no rush for either team, but 3-2 the score in favour of Jasmine. 1-0 up in maps. Ooh. Zaka goes down. So I'm just looking where Banny is at the moment, by the way. So Banny's out actually onto the second CP. He's not being called. Finally, he's been called. He's in onto the medic of Dave. Dave takes him down with the bow and arrow. Arx was going to say Froyo 1-0 up on the maps, but Jasmine looking like they're in the ascendancy now.
So are they going to push off of the Banny pick? I'm not sure. It's only a 7-second. They caught him quite far back. So they can play this in a calm, collected manner. Froyo, it's not quite at the time with 10 minutes remaining that Froyo have any sense of urgency to push out either, but it's certainly going to be playing on their mind that if there's only 4 minutes left or so and Jasmine do take this round, then suddenly they'll only have 4 minutes to get 2 back just to bring it to a golden cap. So that's certainly going to play on their mind. Based on the amount of time left, Froyo are trying to secure that lobby area, and they have managed to take it back with Paddy going down, but Yui also down at the same time.
They've lost a couple of players.
Zaka might be in. He got the health back.
Muma just going down as well. I'm surprised we're not seeing a little bit more aggression from Jasmine, and they are. It looks like they're trying to come down Riverside a little bit more, but it's just so tentative. They're just so worried about those stickies.
Here we
Uber's
go.
been popped really, really early. Counter Uber coming in. There's time on point again. Someone needs to go down and block that. It's baited loads of players down. Free State versus Zaka again on the back of the point. Will Zaka win this? No, he doesn't. Dave and Zaka go down. And it looks like, just keeping an eye, yet 4
Yui's
players
over
down now for
but
Jasmine.
Demoman is looking. Is he going to be able to get onto the pool?
Yui's
No,
there as well.
I think he's
Yui's
been
there.
called.
Yui's there for the back cap.
He's been called. Scout's going under to chase him. He doesn't know
Or
he's
has
behind
he
the
been
point, but
called?
is he going to be able to get him? Scout was overhealed. He is running over onto the point. Get some time on there. Oh, the block comes in. But it's enough to take players back to the point, and it might just allow them to hold on to this if they can block TLR. Rockets are coming in. He's deciding against it and falling back to mid.
So Froyo managing to get off there last as we all reset. Dave just doing some hills with the crossbow as well, multitasking, making sure that if Froyo were to push, but everyone is buffed as much as possible.
I just want to quickly talk about the defense of that last one. Froyo did it differently this time. They knew the strategy that Jasmine would jump through, actually hold that fort for a second. As Jasmine are pushing through, there is a back cap going over onto midpoint, but only 3 players, 3 versus 3 over onto the 4th point. Not enough time on there. It looks like Jasmine are falling back, but they're going to get cut off here, surely. They've got to just push forward and try and force Froyo back into their lobby area, which looks like what they are doing, trying to get as much time on that point, and they are going to take over this 4th CP. But Dave goes down.
And lost Paulson right at the end as well.
Yep.
To see if we might... No, of course, I was going to say I'd probably a bit too late for Kritzkrieg as well. It looks like Jasmine's just trying to do a little bit of skirmishing at the moment, trying to get some picks. Delay Froyo, just give you an idea, 8 minutes remaining, still 3-2 the score. So still time for Froyo, but Jasmine will now start to be aware of that time remaining and making Froyo pay and use up all the time for every step they make forward. And Paddy's coming aggressive, trying to force Jasmine out. Jasmine probably going to give them that third TP for free, and they don't want to lose any players. Neither team have the Uber, but again, just a height advantage from Froyo, forcing them out, and they've set up for the defense of second Arx.
They have, and I mean, crucially, Jasmine didn't take that round to bring it to a 4-2, which keeps it very, very close here as Zaka does go down to the scout and soldier of Froyo.
Bit messy. Uber's popped by Dave, actually. I'm not certain as to why that was forced. I'm probably a little bit wary.
And now Froyo, TLR on the chase of the medic. His Uber has expired, goes in for the shots, takes him down. Are they going to be able to clean up the rest of the players? There are 2 Jasmine players sitting up top. Yui is over in the lobby as well. TLR pushing aggressive again with very little health, but does enough just to force them back. No one capturing the point for the time being, and I feel like had they have capped this, they might have even been able to continue that push over to last, but it doesn't matter. They are taking that 4th point. They are 1 round behind, and they only need this last point to bring it to 3-3.
Pyro and Engineer coming out for the defense of Jasmine. Slight 20% Uber advantage for Froyo. Let's see if they are aware of it or make the most of it at least. Jasmine didn't do it earlier on, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Froyo won't. Just ready to set up on that Battleman's arrow. They want to probably start moving forward now, which they are. Want to be coming in as they hit about 95%, making sure they make the most of any slight advantage. Jasmine will be aware of the Arx, and where is that Pyro saying? Uber's popped really, really early, but will they get onto Dave? Medic still dodging around. Madness goes down in the background. Froyo doing enough this time on point. Demo's there. Someone's going to have to go and block. Jasmine come down in to block it as well. TLR still in the back.
They've got it.
Surely Froyo, yes they do take it. And it's all going to be 3-all, 6 minutes remaining. Another close second map for these 2 teams, Arx. Are we going to see another golden cap?
At this point, I feel that if Jasmine can win a mid-fight and get to last, we could see a golden cap, because they're not pushing these last points particularly well, whereas Froyo, when they are on the attack, they are dominating. So we'll have to see. Going into round number 7 on Gullywash, 6 minutes, 5 seconds remaining as teams make their way through to the midpoint.
Yeah, so just see if the teams swap it up this time. Jasmine a little bit slow getting out there, actually. They might get caught here. It seems to be the standard route. Geo go really aggressive, trying to get in onto the medic, but he does not. He gets taken down.
Madness too.
It looks like Froyo just got most of this midpoint already. Are they falling out? Jasmine have fallen out. I was just going to say, they just seem slow getting there.
I feel like Jasmine could have probably contested that. When Geo went down early, that played on their mind. Oh, Muma goes down. Quite aggressive play. If they had get Paddy as well, which they don't manage to, they might have been able to push forward. But yeah, I feel like the early soldier death for them really messed up their mentality. They thought, look, we've lost one of our damage dealers very early.
we're not going to be able to contest this. But actually, a scout got a return pick on them before he died.
Oh,
so
Uber was popped. Oh, Uber was forced. Arx, I wasn't expecting that. It's actually Gia that managed to force it out. So, counter Uber coming in from Jasmine. They should be able to roll right onto 3, but will they get there in time? They won't, so it's nothing actually came of it. Well, you're talking about Uber advantages all
watch
the time.
out, Paddy going behind the medic. Dave, we go. He manages to take down the scout instead. Realized he wasn't going to connect with the soldier. Sorry, with the medic. He is forced out of that corridor, but crucially, Froyo have the point right now, and if they have the point, they're the ones getting the forward spawn. So even though there's a one-player advantage for Jasmine, and they are making their way into the midpoint, trying to get a capture, TLR does jump up, does get taken down. Paddy as well, going in on Poulsen. He gets taken down. 3 players alive. The forward spawns aren't going to mean nothing if you don't have anyone else to support them when they spawn. And Jasmine taking this midpoint. Medic got the forward spawn, but they should be able to take this 4th point really, really easily if they get a move on here.
That round was pretty much just saved by Banny, by the way. So basically, the medic of 404 went down pretty early in that fight. Banny managed to come in and take down Dave. And that's why we see actually Froyo now have the Uber advantage in their favour. That probably would have been maybe taking us to a decider map if they had stayed alive and managed to get up.
If he had the Uber advantage, you'd like to think that with an Uber advantage of 50% or so, they would make that push and succeed it. As it stands right now, 3 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock. 3-3 is the current score. And Jasmine are currently sitting in the lobby area. It appears we have a pause.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a server issue or maybe someone may have crashed. Anyone AFK?
Or maybe they just wanted to build up the suspense. They thought, let's pause it and let everyone wait. For
going as you expected, Arx. Anyway, 3-all the score. Of course, now because we're actually connected through a different way, our server time will be a little bit messed up. But who's your money on? Jasmine, probably, obviously a little bit more aggressive, but I think Froyo probably still might pull it out of the bag.
The thing is that if the teams were reversed in this situation and Froyo had Jasmine sat back on their last CP, you'd say Froyo all the way. But because it's Jasmine, they have not been particularly successful with their pushes on last. And Froyo have often pushed back from their last point and managed to pull out. So at this point, it's still anyone's game.
Yeah, so if you have just joined us, so it's still, this is upper bracket round 2 of Multiplay's i58 competition. We've got the Australians versus the Americans. This is map 2, so froyotech taking the first map. Hopefully that's not a spoiler to anyone. I should hopefully have known that by now. If Jasmine do win this map, and we don't have draws, it will go to Golden Cap. As Golden Cap happened on Granary, the first map, by the way, it will go to a final map, third and decider. It will be Badlands, and Arx thinks actually if Jasmine take this, they'll be favourites to take Badlands as well.
It's only because of how Froyo played against Xenex. I think that's their name. I've got it wrong once already. They did not look particularly comfortable against them. And so I think Jasmine actually probably have a good shout.
It's something to do with Mailer, I think, basically. That's it, I remember now. Oh, dear.
Pronunciation.
Yeah. Right. So, Arx, given, are Froyo performing as you would expect them to anyway? American champions. Are they the same Froyotech of old?
No, they're not. They're playing well. I don't think they're quite as dominant as you'd expect them to be. They're certainly playing well though, and I think actually they're playing the better of these two teams right now. When they're in the attack, they are doing well, and when they're on the defense, they're doing a lot better than Jasmine. Jasmine aren't doing so well on the attack, but their defensive play is really, really strong right now.
Okay. And what do you think? Jasmine a secret surprise again, team immunity type. No one really gives them any credit, and then everyone starts to get upset when they arrive after a 22-hour flight and they're playing like they've just picked up the game, and everyone gets a little bit upset where they're losing 5-0 in about 5 minutes, and suddenly all again they top the invite group. They didn't actually lose. They didn't actually lose anything from the invite group.
Yeah.
Very similar to how immunity turned out, if I remember correctly. They actually had something similar. They pretty much really surprised everyone in the invite group.
Well, everyone thought that they were going to come. They're that 4th place team because it was sort of, oh, okay, so you're going to have one American team, one European team are going to be doing really well, and then maybe a second American or maybe a second European, and then you're going to have the Australian team sort of just fighting for that bronze medal as such. But yeah, you're right. Immunity showed up in that LAN event and surprised everybody. And I think maybe people are treating Jasmine T with a bit more respect this time, thinking, okay, these Aussies aren't coming over here just to make up the numbers. They are coming here as contenders to take this tournament. And I think they're proving that.
Yeah, you're right. I would agree, actually, because Team Immunity did something similar. They came over really, really close, actually, to causing some big upsets. If I remember correctly, testing my memory now, I look over for guidance. Wasn't it TCM that rolled Team Immunity all the way back on Granary, losing like 5 rounds, getting 5 rounds in a row against them or something?
Come on,
on
Analysts,
Granary, yeah. Come on, Analysts. You're the Analysts. Tell me. But I'm pretty sure. Admirable. Am I right? I think I'm right on that. I think I'm right. Wasn't it TCM that rolled Team Immunity on Granary that year? Like 5 rounds in a row. Don't give me that. Actually, no. Actually, I know he's a hitman. It's a second profession. Right. Still waiting for this map to restart. We're not aware of why the pause. That said, we still do think so. Arx still favouring Froyo. What do you think of actually what's happened on the mid-fight, that last mid-fight? Oh, hold on a minute. Hold that for Arx. It looks like we are back in action. As we can see, SG going up. Yui trying to take that down. So do we know what the cause of the drop was? It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to think if it was Dave. But Yui gets Banny down. So Engineer, that SG is not going to stay up for very long. And will that prompt the push?
Not without their Uber, and not with their Uber being this close, and not with knowing that Froyo have their Uber as well, which they should. I believe that's the case, that they have it. I certainly wouldn't expect them to push in aggressively just off of that pick anyway.
Oh, Zaka trying to get that pick, and they've fallen back out of that riverside, all the way back to the second CV. So if you have just rejoined us, or we've just come off from a pause, 3-3 the score. This is the second map, Gully Wash, and well, Jasmine need to win it. Jasmine need to win it, Arx, and they're being a bit wary now, just making sure that no silly mistakes, like you said before, recycling. Let's not just go in for the sake of it. Zaka can try and go and get a pick, but if he doesn't, let's just wait for him to return, and we'll try again.
Certainly is interesting. Trying to snipe, there's not particularly that many entrances that they can go for to try and get that pick. They're generally easy to spam, but one quick headshot is all you need sometimes.
Yeah, we've seen it in the past.
In they go.
Does work. Here they go.
Zaka on the point again. He's been man of the cap so far. Look at that time on the point. If the rest of the team pretty much just jumped on it, surely someone would get pushed off of it. Zaka's underneath, but free state heavy. He's not going to take down the heavy before he gets one bullet on him. That was a lot of capture time. I'm disappointed that the rest of Jasmine did not push him with them, because even though they were isolated over at the choke and basically forced back, that's a lot of cap time, which they now might even surrender.
Arx, just like I said, recycle. They're going to have another go at this. WARHURYEAH is still locked in. They're going to have another go.
It depends on how quickly they recycle it, because that cap time that they generated, they were nearly there. It's halfway down. It is dropping very, very slightly, and I'm just wondering if they're going to make a push on it.
Well, they're going to wait for the Uber, definitely. I mean, so little time remaining left. It will be slightly off now, of course, on your screen because of the Source TV bug. So let's just see if they do fancy it. Again, just favouring that riverside, just spamming their way down. Zaka probably going to be the man that makes the hole. Will he go straight for point? And here we go, going straight for point as well this time. Jasmine trying to, in fact, WARHURYEAH trying to come in and block, but they've lost 2 players. It's not worked this time, and they're falling all the way back out of battlements. They do not want to give up that battlements area, otherwise they could lose second. Paddy going down as well. It's not worked for them, Arx, and looking like WARHURYEAH might win it. Dave goes down as well. This could be terrible for Jasmine. So little time left, and Jasmine going all out to try and get that pick, try and stop FroYo getting second for free.
Muma behind.
But it hasn't, and it's Arx. This could be terrible for Jasmine now.
Yes, it could very well be very terrible for them right now.
Well,
as another one, Geo's getting taken down. Can FroYo snowball this momentum? They are taking the midpoint. They are going to have an Uber advantage. They've got a player advantage. They're going to have a positioning advantage very shortly as their players push round to the choke point. This is now FroYo's game to lose after a horrible retreat from that first push. And, wow, we will see if they are going to be... Well, they're certainly taking the 4th point. Players moving up top now. This could very well be it. There's not much time remaining in it. If FroYo take this, it's going to give them the win.
Is he going to try and do his best? Yes, he is. He's delaying as much as he can. 60% in building. Yui gets taken
Uber's
down, but
coming
here we
in.
come. Uber has been popped. It's all up to Jasmine to try and defend this. It's still sitting behind the point.
Scout on the point.
Paulson coming in as well.
There's no
Geo
one on
down.
it.
It's not going to happen.
Froyo
It's going to be
taking
Froyo.
it.
Take it right at the death. 4-3 the score. What is the time remaining? Is it actually that 9 seconds, or is it still the Source TV bug?
No, I believe
Carried on
it is.
counting down.
I believe it is 8 seconds remaining.
It's real?
yeah, it's
Okay.
done. It's
There we have it.
that is basically the game right there. Amazing play. Well, the initiative to push it out, knowing there's that little time left, and that if that push went wrong, they would lose the map. But I guess having that one map barrier just made it, well, a lot more comfortable for them to make that decision.
And Arx, Jasmine now in the lower bracket of the tournament.
Yeah.
So as we found out before, over the past 3 years, even if you do finish the top of the invite group, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to stay in the upper bracket all the way through. And I think Jasmine might be a little bit dodgy, but I think that was self-inflicted personally.
Yeah.
From that final push, that's where it should all crumbled apart, and their world came in and snowballed and basically went out the window.
Zaka got so much time on that last capture point. If the rest of his team followed up, they would have, all of Froyo would have basically had to jump onto that point to try and contest it. It would have been sticky fodder. They could have just thrown out as much spam onto that point. And if one person is not on that point for even a second, is capped. But they didn't bother to react off of that capture time. They got pressed back a little bit. They had some players on low health, so it's justifiable that they fell out. But I just feel that had they have just gone all in, been decisive and said, look how much time we've got on it, just get to the point. Demo man soldier spam it, everybody else on it. They might have just taken that round.
Well, enough of our talking. You get fed up of our voices eventually. I think we'll go over to the real detailed analysis. We have 3 gentlemen lined up to give you the do's and don'ts of Gully Wash and talk us through how this best of 2 in the end for Froyo went. So we're handing over to the Analysts, and thank you very much.
How good are Arx and Beta, by the way? While you guys listen to us talk, can we fill Twitch chat with hearts? How good are they? They're real good. Have you been invested as an observer in a match like that in a long time? We're supposed to be unbiased as analysts, but with the 3 of us, we're just sitting here watching that finish, like hands on heads, losing it, ballistic.
I said I wanted Heartbreak today.
Yeah.
Not my own heart, though.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was not
Not
the
like
ending
this.
of that Gully Wash. It was... I just wanted a third map more
Yeah.
than anything. It was... I feel like Jasmine were not robbed in a sense. Froyo didn't do enough, but the fact that it was over in 2 maps seems very harsh on Jasmine.
A rip off. How do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10? How attached were you to that?
I
match
felt
war?
an emotion that I've never felt before.
It's called love.
Yeah, that was I was
called
very,
love.
very invested in that game. That was really, really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. We're waiting. We'll have logs to break down for you guys here in a second, but oh boy, yeah. I don't think any of us were expecting 2 maps on that, and I don't know. Where do we start?
Let's start at the beginning of this story.
So Robin Walker was a game developer who.
Hello there, my name
we're-
is Gaben.
the logs are coming up in a second. So certainly Froyo will move on, and in the upper bracket that is, and
We're playing Crowns.
it's good for them. Playing Crowns.
Playing Crowns.
Yeah.
Crowns smashed. Full
Logs are
tilt,
coming up.
by the way.
Let's look at them with our eyes. So,
Let me just put them in.
put them in your eyes, yeah. Don't put anything in your eyes. It's dangerous. Okay.
To be honest, the logs are a bit too close to really sort of
Yeah, they
break
really
down
are.
deep.
Nothing's jumping out.
Because, yeah, there won't be anything that's going to be really, really sort of like in your face. Look how well this person did, apart from Muma, who once again is putting like such fantastic work on the demolitions man.
Yep.
Paulson's not far behind, you know.
Yeah, Paulson's not far behind, but Muma's just been like just tearing up teams by himself in so many situations. But yeah, Paulson also had a pretty decent game. I do kind of feel like it was Jasmine that lost it. The casters were talking about the last push where they managed to get an insane amount of time on the last push. And it was beautiful. Like watching it, they just all went in. They got so much time on the point, but the amazing thing is that they all managed to get out, like, after doing that. The only person that died almost at the end of it was Zaka. But the thing is that when you put that much time on the point, they instantly moved all the way back. It's like, just keep on pressuring, just sort of keep on forcing the issue, because all that happened is that they just gave froyotech enough time to just sort of rebuff from that, and then obviously, as you saw, they pushed out from their last and managed to win the whole game. I felt that if Jasmine just sort of like played with the aggression that we've been seeing from them throughout the entire event so far, and they just carried on pushing on that like cap advantage. The thing is, it's going to be very, very difficult for Froyo to sort of protect around that, because when you first stand on the point, you get an alert sound, and then any subsequent time that somebody stands on it, you don't get any sort of alert sound. You just see the notification of it building up. So they can sort of exploit that incredibly tense situation where they're going to have to put players on that point. They can then, maybe force the aggression from soldiers and scouts going into water, just have maybe Paulson just sticking up the point, create this sort of moment of unsurety, and just try and keep on putting pressure on it. I felt like they respected froyotech too much on that part.
They bottled it. Yeah. I think, because that fight is 5v6 because Zaka goes down, so fair enough, you don't want to take a 5v6 fight in most situations, but you don't need to win the team fight there. You've got so much cap time, you just need to win the fight for such a small portion of time to keep you to get that point clear for a short period of time. That's all you need to do. And when it came down, like all chips on the table, they bottled it, and they just got such a big advantage, and then just allowed froyotech to reset the fight.
Yeah, and as an attacking team, like whenever you're pushing on to lasts, it's like not such a big deal if you've lost a player pushing into last. It's like not that much of a heavy effect. Whereas when you're defending in that situation, there's so little time left, there is no more room for error. You are in the comfortable position, because the worst thing that's going to happen for Jasmine T is that they push, it doesn't work, but they run down the clock so much that froyotech wouldn't have been able to cap last because there was 8 seconds left on the point. All they had to do was just pressure for 8 more seconds, and it would have gone to golden cap, and they would have lost anyway, maybe.
Well, tell you what, we're standing by. We talked a lot about Muma this weekend, the past couple of days. We have Muma, as a matter of fact. He's standing by in our interview area. He's getting prepped. He's in the green room. They're combing and grooming him, just getting him ready. And
they put his hat back
playing on. Playing on a bandy team, you can get disheveled, sweaty. Sometimes there's blood flying around, bodily fluids,
crushed mice everywhere.
Yeah, there's a quarantine procedure we have here in the building, so we're just waiting for that to happen. But I'm looking at Froyo right now, and they look pretty okay with themselves. They've been just dying to play all weekend. So tell you what, I hear that Muma is ready right now. We're going to kick it over to him. eXtine?
Yow! What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another interview segment. This time I got Muma with me from froyotech. And just to start things off, Muma, how was your journey here? How was getting settled into this LAN and your experience at Insomnia so far?
I got really sick of layovers. Like on the flight here, we had to take like 4 flights so that we could get our tickets to be as cheap as possible. And in total, we had I think it was 10 hours worth of layovers. So that included in the fact that it was the first time I've ever flown in my entire life. Almost the first time I've ever been out of my state in my entire life. So it was a little nerve-wracking and very boring, very miserable, just sitting in the airports for 10 hours with literally nothing to do at all.
You've seemed to be gotten very comfortable, though, in your LAN setup. You just had a wonderful game. I mean, was that an issue, you getting started? But now, I mean, obviously you're playing real well, so you must be feeling pretty comfortable now.
I mean, yeah, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I was really nervous originally about LAN and thinking I was going to choke and freak out because people are sitting behind me and stuff. But I feel like I'm actually playing better because when people are behind me and stuff, I like to try to impress them and stuff. And originally when we first got here, my config, I actually forgot to copy my config from my house. So I'm actually playing with Patty's config, which, I mean, it's whatever, but I don't have that much in it, but it's a little bit different because I'm changing how I have to change weapons, and it's a little annoying and stuff.
Yeah, so you guys had an awesome series there against Jasmine. Extremely close. You definitely had some wonderful moments of it. You saw it all, so why don't you just fill us in maybe some of the stuff that we didn't catch that you were really happy with and really proud of in those 2 games?
I mean, if I was just talking really general, I think on the second map I top fragged in the entire server with bottom deaths and top damage, and Banny took more heals than me. So it's I had people behind me with cameras recording my POV because of how crazy I was going, and that was really surreal and really cool because it's it made me want to just try even harder because I needed to impress those people. It's I just like to be a star. I like to impress people, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys had kind of like middle results in the group stage, but you guys, I know you guys had a meeting this morning, and then you came out and 2 great maps with great results. What was the atmosphere in the team in terms of like how you guys need to improve, and what is the game plan for today overall?
Well, a lot of the problems in group stages came from people getting used to like the land setting and stuff. And like we pretty much like after we went home to the hotel and like we all hung out and like the long walk home, we were like, it's like a 30-minute walk to the hotel. So during that entire talk, we were just jabbing on about what we need to change and what we need to do. And then after we got to the hotel room, we just kept going and going and going. And then this morning we just kept talking and talking and talking. I'm not going to go into detail about like what we're changing and everything, but basically our playstyle from group stages took like a big 180 turn, and we're just like switching it all around because what we did not work at all.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys definitely have been making really strong changes. You and I had some private conversations I won't allude to about other strategies that you guys might expect to see, things that could happen. One thing that did happen in that last game that was interesting was that Kritzkrieg play by them. Did that catch you guys off guard?
I mean, it killed 2 of us, so yeah, it caught us off guard. That like they had this thing where they like to bomb just one soldier with a pain train to points, and I really didn't like it because like it fucking puts so much pressure on me where I have to like trap point opposed to trapping river or anything, which is where I like to trap because I don't like when they Uber in and stuff. But that one, like, I didn't have stickies on point at the time, and I saw their soldier bomb on a point, and I didn't see anyone else going to contest them, so I had to go do it. And then that's when the crits came in, and it scared us.
Nice. Well, I see your 5 teammates behind you, getting ready to go. I'm sure you guys want to chat about your next matchup. You guys are heading into the upper bracket final. Before I let you go, though, first off, I want to give you the opportunity to give some shout-outs to people watching at home.
Shout-outs to everyone on my team, of course. They're not really at home, but everyone who I played my first 2 seasons with on Champagne and Cocaine, and Dylan with a 4.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're going to go to an ad break, but real quick before we do, we had somebody else fulfill a donation request, and I heard you had a little donation request.
Yeah. A little something.
We'll do it in some solidarity. Do you want some solidarity?
I suppose.
Okay. Well, we're going to kaboom it to an ad break, ladies and gentlemen, but stay tuned. We'll be right back. Kaboom!